Chapter 891 Entering the Heaven Observation Ground. In the sky, Bai Shijin's lips curled into a smile. This guy seems to be very optimistic about Lu Ming. At the side, Du Songjue's eyes flickered. He knew that Bai Shijin was trying to build up momentum for Lu Ming, but he did not refute or stop him. "All right, I'm done." At this moment, Bai Shijin's voice was heard again, and the scene became quiet. "I hereby announce the results of this competition. First place, Tian Yun. Second place, Ji Mai. Third place, Yan Tong Tong." Bai Shijin announced. Then he changed his tone and said, "Originally, the plan to enter the observatory this time was to have 3 spots. However, because many geniuses have emerged this time and the quality is very high, and the Battle of Providence is approaching, the elders and I have decided to increase the number of spots to 5. Other than Tian Yun, Ji Mai, and Yan Tonghua, Meng Jia and Hu Ming can also enter the observatory. All right, the competition is over. You guys can rest for a while and enter the observatory tomorrow." Bai Shijin's voice fell, and the competition ended. As for Meng Jia and H Ming, they were naturally overjoyed. The other people at the scene also cast envious looks at them. "Tian Yun, so you're actually this powerful?" Bai Qixue looked at Lu Ming curiously. "Let's go." Lu Ming held Bai Qixue's hand and flew towards the direction of the Cloud Peak House. There was a group of young women swarming towards Lu Ming from one direction. Lu Ming ran away immediately. After flying for tens of thousands of miles, the two finally slowed down. Suddenly, Lu Ming felt that he was holding a small, cold hand. He turned around and saw Bai Qixue looking at him with her big eyes, blushing. Lu Ming hurriedly let go and said, "I'm sorry, I was in a hurry just now." "In a moment of urgency, or taking the opportunity to take advantage of me?" Bai Qixue smiled. Lu Ming coughed a few times in embarrassment. "Why are you running so fast? Don't you feel good with so many beautiful women chasing after you? You must be secretly proud of yourself, right?" Bai Qixue joked. "I'm not, I already have someone I like." Lu Ming smiled. Xian Yanqing's figure flashed across his mind. He wondered how she was doing. She should have returned to the ancient sage dynasty in the central continent. "Oh, is that so?" Bai Qixue's face stiffened when she heard that Lu Ming already had someone in his heart. A trace of disappointment and sadness flashed in her eyes, but it was only for a moment. Then she smiled again and said, "She must be very beautiful to be valued by you, right?" "Yeah, it's very beautiful." Lu Ming smiled and then looked at Bai Qixue with a smile. "What's wrong? Don't tell me you've taken a fancy to me?" "Go, don't be so smug." Bai Qixue's face turned red in an instant. Then she glared at Lu Ming and said, "You're still far from being able to make me like you. If it's a prodigy like Lu Ming, that's more like it." Cough, cough, cough. Lu Ming could not stop coughing. "What's wrong with you?" Bai Qixue asked. "My throat is uncomfortable, but I'm fine." Lu Ming was spouting nonsense. "No way. You're so strong in martial arts. Why would your throat feel uncomfortable?" Bai Qixue was surprised. "I'm fine. Let's go back to Cloud Peak House first." Lu Ming changed the topic and walked towards Yun Feng House. The next day, Lu Ming arrived at the peak of a mountain. There was a huge altar on the peak. Ji Mai, Yan Tong Tong, Meng Jia, and Hu Ming were also with them. In addition, there were also Bai Shijin, Du Songjue, and a few other elders. "Now, we'll open the passage to the observatory. You can go and cultivate. However, you only have 1 month. After 1 month, you will be transported back. So, in this 1 month, you must make the best use of your time to cultivate." Bai Shijin warned. "Yes." Lu Ming and the rest nodded. They knew very well that in order to open the path to the observatory and maintain it for a month, they would need to consume a terrifying amount of raw stones. Furthermore, the more people who entered, the more resources they would need to consume. Therefore, the quota to enter the observatory was extremely precious. Before this, only the 13 Zongzis had entered. "I can also borrow the strength of the demonic beasts to temper my intent and comprehend my martial arts." Lu Ming was deep in thought. After that, he took out a portion of demonic beast blood essence and began to devour and refine it. He hadn't even refined the blood essence he had bought last time. This time, he used all of it to improve his 9-dragon bloodline. After awakening the 9 dragon claws, the amount of blood essence required was shockingly high. After refining 50 sets of 7th grade 6th level demonic beast blood essence and 50 sets of 8th grade 6th level demonic beast blood essence, the 9 dragon bloodline had only advanced by 1 level, reaching tier 2 of the divine level. As his 9 dragon bloodline advanced, another dragon power was born in his bloodline. There were 2 dragon powers in total. 3 days had passed. 3 days later, Lu Ming walked out of his room and asked Bai Qixue if there was a suitable place to cultivate. Bai Qixue thought for a while and found a suitable place. The Feral Secret Realm. This was a secret realm controlled by the Talisman sect. It could be considered a medium-sized dimension. There were primitive forests everywhere, and countless demonic beasts were nurtured. These demonic beasts were very primitive. They might have never come into contact with humans, so they could not speak human language or take human form. They maintained their most primitive beast form. This was undoubtedly very suitable for Lu Ming's cultivation. Lu Ming bade farewell to Bai Qixue and headed to the entrance of the secret realm of beasts. There were many people at the entrance. Many Talisman sect disciples and even the older generation entered to hunt demonic beasts. After all, an inscriber needed all kinds of materials. In the ferocious beast secret realm, killing demonic beasts not only gave them materials, but also blood essence, which was wealth. Sky Cloud. It's Sky Cloud Zongzi. Sky Cloud Zongzi. Many people hurriedly greeted Lu Ming when he arrived. Lu Ming smiled and nodded. With Lu Ming's status, it was naturally easy for him to enter the ferocious beast's secret realm. Endless mountains and forests came into view. The roars of demonic beasts came from the distance. It was a scene of wilderness. Haha, this is a good place. It's very primitive and should be a mystic realm that has just been developed. I can smell the fragrance of countless spiritual herbs. Dandan stood on Lu Ming's shoulder, her head constricting and her small eyes glowing. In all directions, people continued to fly forward and enter the wild mountains. Let's go! Lu Ming stepped into the air and flew towards the savage mountain. Lu Ming did not stop. He flew deeper and deeper. According to Bai Qixue, the ferocious beast secret realm was indeed a secret realm that the Talisman sect had discovered not long ago. It had not been 10 years and its development was limited. The deeper one went, the stronger the demonic beasts would be. There were even quite a few existences at the spirit embryo realm and above in the depths. Before long, Lu Ming was 1,000,000 miles deep. He could already see other people's figures. Roar! A 7 to 8 meter tall, 30-meter-long giant lizard rushed out of the forest and pounced at Lu Ming. The air was filled with ferocity, exuding a powerful aura. The peak of the 9th level of the spiritual ocean realm. Lu Ming smiled and a long spear formed in his palm. With a swing, the long spear shot out like lightning. 4 concepts of heaven and earth swirled around it. Puchi! The long spear pierced through the giant lizard's head, leaving a bowl-sized bloody hole. The giant lizard roared and its huge body smashed into the forest, crushing a large area of ancient trees. Roar! The bloodline of the 9 dragons emerged. It opened its mouth and aimed at the giant lizard. A terrifying devouring power erupted. The next moment, Lu Ming's eyes widened in shock. However, the elephant's trunk was also sent flying by him. The elephant roared, shaking the sky. The first tier of the 7th level is equivalent to the first tier of the spirit embryo realm. I can put up a fight. Lu Ming stopped in the air, his eyes glistening. This giant elephant had immense strength, but it was not ridiculously strong. Lu Ming could fight it. Buzz! Following that, Lu Ming turned into a ray of light and headed towards the exit of the fierce beast's forest. The moment Lu Ming left the ferocious beast's forest, his expression changed and he took out a jade voice transmission talisman. Fatty is here, I almost forgot. Lu Ming smiled. The moment he came out, he received a message from Fatty. It seemed like he had been cut off in the mystic realm. Lu Ming immediately flew out of the Yin and Yang mountain. The other 13 Zongzi candidates. Lu Ming was happy for them. After all, they were friends. Let's go to Mount Liangyi, Lu Ming said. Then, the 3 of them headed to the Yin and Yang mountain. After a while, they arrived at the mountain. With Lu Ming's token, the 3 of them entered the mountain easily. Lu Ming first returned to the platform and returned the token to the elder. Then, he brought the Fatty and Ruan Tingting with him and flew towards Cloud Peak House. Nest, you're hiding a mistress in your golden house. The moment he arrived at the Cloud Peak House and saw Bai Qixue, the Fatty shouted. He did not call Lu Ming by his real name. He knew that Lu Ming was using a fake name. Get lost. Lu Ming lifted his leg and kicked. Bai Qixue's face turned red. Seeing Bai Qixue's embarrassed look, the Fatty's eyes were wide open. He then looked at Lu Ming with admiration and said, Brother, I'm impressed. I really admire you. Wherever you go, you have beautiful women accompanying you. You even live together. But aren't you too fickle? How can I let Monsieur down? Look at me. I only have Tingting in my heart. After she finished speaking, she even blinked her small eyes and looked at Ruan Tingting ingratiatingly. Get lost. Ruan Tingting said in disdain. Lu Ming kicked the Fatty's body and the Fatty's fat body flew out. Qi Shui, these 2 are my friends, Fatty Kong Jin and Ruan Tingting. Lu Ming started to introduce them to Bai Qixue. Since they were all young people, they got to know each other after fooling around for a while. Lu Ming had arranged a courtyard for Fatty and Ruan Tingting on a mountain near Yun Peak House. In the following days, Mount Liangyi became lively. As the Battle of Providence neared, almost all the paragons came out of seclusion and adjusted their mentality to prepare for the Battle of Providence. Even the other 13 Zongzis had appeared and ended their seclusion. Time passed day by day. 2 days before the Battle of Providence began, Bai Shijin sent someone to invite Lu Ming to meet him. Lu Ming arrived at the Talisman Amulet Sect's meeting hall and saw Bai Shijin, Du Songjue, Meng Chong, and the other elders of the Talisman Amulet Sect. In the middle of the hall, there were 13 young men. There were men and women among the 13 young men, and all of them had extraordinary bearings. One look and one could tell that they were dragons and phoenixes among men. The moment Lu Ming entered, the 13 young men and women looked at him in unison. Some were curious, some were peaceful, some were friendly, but there were also some who were not friendly. These should be the other 13 Zongzi candidates. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and he sized up the other party curiously. These 13 people were the top 100 on the list of top 1,000 talents. Each and every one of them was extraordinary and stood at the peak of the Eastern Barren Territory. Tianyun, you've come. Bai Shijin laughed. Tianyun pays his respects to the seniors. Lu Ming saluted in front of the mountain. You guys should get to know each other. He's Tianyun. Bai Shijin nodded. Junior brother Tianyun, I've long heard of your name. A young man stepped forward with a gentle smile on his face. This young man had a head of Asilavira hair that was casually let down and reached his waist. He was very handsome and always had a gentle smile on his face, which easily gave people a good impression of him. His body was constantly emitting a mysterious aura, as if he did not belong to the mortal world. The most peculiar thing about him was his eyes. His eyes were Asilavira in color, and he had 2 pupils. Each of his eyes had 2 pupils, and they looked extremely evil. Lu Ming was shocked. He thought of someone. Silavira hair, heavenly eye, illusion reality. He was ranked 8th on the list of top 1,000 talents and was the only one from the Talisman sect to make it into the top 10. He was known as an unparalleled genius and the #1 alchemist among the younger generation in the East Baron. He was extremely talented, and it was said that his heavenly pupils could see through all formations and inscriptions. Cough, cough, cough. Before Lu Ming could say anything, Bai Shijin coughed and said, Huanjin, don't call Tianyun junior brother. You can just call each other by name. Ah! Chapter 896 Battle of Providence begins. Du Songjue's words caused the hearts of the young people present to tremble. They were dumbfounded. Our divine wilderness continent is actually just a drop in the ocean. Beyond the ocean, there are many other continents similar to the divine wilderness continent, and some are even hundreds or thousands of times bigger than the divine wilderness continent. A young man exclaimed, his eyes wide open. Huanzhen and the others were the same. They were too shocked. In the past, they had thought that the divine wilderness mainland was the center of the world. Although they knew that the endless sea was mysterious and that there might be other continents, they would at most think that it was shocking to have 2 or 3 similar continents. However, Du Songjue used the word, many, and there was also a land that was hundreds or even thousands of times larger than the divine wilderness continent. This was simply unbelievable. The divine wilderness continent was already extremely vast. The eastern wilderness had hundreds of regions and was extremely vast. As for southern nether, northern plains and western desert, they were also vast, not smaller than the eastern barren territory. As for the central continent, it was said to be even more vast, with many outstanding people and experts. In such a vast land, there were actually so many overseas. The crowd was stunned. Lu Ming was the only one who was slightly better. Qiu Yu might have been taken away by the people from overseas. He had once entered a small island in the heaven realm by chance and broadened his horizons. He also knew that this world was beyond his expectations and was vast and boundless. That's right. Unless it's an imperial cultivator, it's difficult to leave the divine wilderness continent and head overseas. That's why we're not sure. Master Lian Song had mentioned it before. Furthermore, the Battle of Providence doesn't only involve the divine wilderness continent. According to Master, the entire primordial realm and other continents will have battles of providence, where the elites compete for supremacy. Du Songjue said again. This time, even Lu Ming was dumbfounded. It was not just the divine wilderness continent, even the other continents overseas would have a battle for providence. This was too shocking. What was the reason for this? How could they do it at the same time in such a vast area? Or rather, was there any connection between the wars of providence? Was it the natural operation of the laws of the heavenly Tao, or was it man-made? If it was man-made, who could have such terrifying energy to control the vast primordial realm at the same time? At this moment, Lu Ming's mind was filled with many thoughts. Master once said that if you stand out in the battle of providence and achieve certain results, you'll be able to reap unexpected rewards. Du Songjue said. Some sort of standard? What's the standard? Lu Ming and the group were surprised. This I don't know. Master didn't tell me in detail, but it seems that it's extremely difficult to reach that standard. In short, you just have to do your best. Make your preparations. Lu Ming, Huanzhen, and the rest nodded and left the hall. Lu Ming left the hall and flew to the treasure pavilion. He bought some items and returned to the Cloud Peak House. Big Brother Yen. Near Yun Peak House, Lu Ming was overjoyed to see Yen Kuang-tu. It had been half a year since they last met, and Yen Kuang-tu had finally appeared. Lu Ming. Yen Kuang-tu laughed. At this moment, Yen Kuang-tu's body flashed, and the figure of the Nine Suns Supreme Master appeared. Now, the remnant soul of the Nine Suns Supreme Master had become much more solid, and his soul power was much stronger than before. It was obvious that he had recovered a lot during this period of time. Senior Zhou. Lu Ming saluted, feeling happy for the Nine Suns Supreme. Lu Ming, how are the preparations for the Battle of Providence? The Nine Suns Supreme Master said with a smile. It's all right. Lu Ming nodded. Well, with your current cultivation and combat power, it's still very difficult for you to stand out, Hongling said. However, the Battle of Providence will start in one stage. There's a year's time, and it's enough for you to rise up. These men of sacrifice were nothing more than young men under the age of 30, who had been raised with secret techniques to participate in the Battle of Providence for consumption. Lu Ming stood in the crowd and scanned the 3 major forces. In the area of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, he saw the 6 supreme martial artists from the 6 great ancient aristocratic families. There were dozens of young men and women in each force. They had extraordinary auras and were unfathomable. However, since he had been discovered, he had to be generous and step forward. At this moment, everyone's eyes were focused on Lu Ming. Tianyun? You are Lu Ming? Bai Qishua's eyes were wide open in disbelief. Tianyun was actually Lu Ming. They all want to kill Lu Ming. No wonder Tianyun was so powerful and his martial arts cultivation was so profound. So, he was Lu Ming? Bai Qishue could not help but remember that she used to praise Lu Ming in front of him and said that if she wanted to find someone she liked, she would find someone like Lu Ming. Wasn't he saying this in front of Lu Ming? Thinking of this, Bai Qishue's face turned red and she felt very embarrassed. This bad guy. He didn't tell me. Bai Qishue's face was as red as an apple. In the Talisman Amulet sect, the other young people also looked at Lu Ming in shock. Then they came to a realization. It turned out that Tianyun was Lu Ming. No wonder he was so talented and powerful. He was the one who started the war in Nine Dragons, pulled out the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron, fought against the supreme martial artists, and finally caused De and Martial Emperor to attack. No wonder. In that case everything made sense. Since Lu Ming was Tianyun, it made sense that he had crushed everyone in the Talisman Sect's competition and won the first place. It was because he was Lu Ming. Little bastard, I'm going to kill you now. Flames danced on Wang Shengtian's body, exuding a powerful aura. However, he was severely suppressed and only had the aura of the spirit embryo realm. Wang Shengtian, this is not Nine Dragons. Bai Shi took a step forward and stood in front of Wang Shengtian, spiritual power spreading out from between his eyebrows. Bai Shi, your Talisman Amulet sect dares to oppose my Emperor Heaven Divine Palace? Are you looking to die? Wang Shengtian shouted with cold-killing intent. He. The Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace has always been annexing the territory of my Talisman Amulet sect. Haven't they always been at odds with us? Bai Shi sneered. You. Wang Shengtian's face turned ugly. If they were outside, he would have made a move immediately. The Emperor Heaven Divine Palace had more Supremes than the Talisman Amulet sect. They were more than enough to defeat the Talisman Amulet sect. However, in this place, he couldn't display the strength of a supreme martial artist at all. An ordinary elder of the Talisman sect would probably be able to stop him. If they were to fight, the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace might suffer a great loss. Good, very good. Talisman Amulet sect, let's see how many of you can survive this battle of providence. Wang Shengtian coldly spoke. After that, he instructed the geniuses of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, everyone from the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, listen up. In the Battle of Providence, if you encounter anyone from the Talisman Amulet sect, there's no need to show mercy. Kill them. Yes. The geniuses of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace replied loudly, their eyes filled with killing intent. Also, especially Lu Ming. If you see him, kill him without mercy. I'll reward whoever kills him. Wang Shengtian said. I must kill Lu Ming. Yes. The sovereign of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace replied. His cold killing intent spread towards Lu Ming. Some of the powerful heaven's favorites had cold and unfathomable gazes. You are Lu Ming. At this moment, a loud roar came from the direction of the Sky Demon Valley. A brawny man in red armor was looking at Lu Ming coldly. That's the sovereign of the Flood Dragon tribe. Someone recognized the brawny man. My nephew Aokuan was killed by you. Good, very good. The Flood Dragon sovereign turned to look at the geniuses of the Sky Demon Valley and shouted, this kid killed my nephew. If you see him in the Battle of Providence, kill him without mercy. Whoever kills him will be heavily rewarded. Haha, he's mine. I will kill him. Instantly, the paragons of the Sky Demon Valley looked at Lu Ming with killing intent. He remembered that he had killed a legendary dragon, Aokuan, at the exchange of the three forces in Nine Dragons. His eyes swept across the people of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace and the Sky Demon Valley. He then said, since you want to kill me, then you should be prepared to be killed by me. His voice was also very calm, but it revealed a strong self-confidence and a sharp killing intent. What a big mouth. Who do you think you are? How dare you say you'll kill us? In the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace, a young man sneered. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. He recognized this person. Jiang Taichung was the person who had stopped him when he emerged victorious in the Heavenly King ranking battle. This man was ranked in the top 100 on the list of top 1,000 talents. They're just clowns. Another voice rang out from the crowd of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. After that, a young man walked out while pulling a woman along. Wang Yan. Lu Ming also recognized that Wang Yan and Jiang Taichung had stopped them after the battle on the Heavenly King ranking. At that time, the two of them were high and mighty, looking down on Lu Ming and the rest. They said that the battle of the Heavenly King's ranking was just a game for children and they did not take Lu Ming seriously at all. At this moment, they did not take Lu Ming seriously. Wang Haoxian. What made Lu Ming's eyes light up was that the person Wang Yan was holding on to was Wang Haoxian. Wang Haoxian's face was pale. Lu Ming, when you were in 9 Dragons, Wang Haoxian, that bitch, seemed to be very close to you. That bitch dared to betray the Wang family. Although he has been punished, it's not enough. Do you see this? He said. Wang Yan pointed at the collar on Wang Haoxian's neck and said to Lu Ming. A cold glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He did not say anything. This collar can explode at any time. When that happens, this bitch will be crushed to pieces. This time, in the Battle of Providence, I'll crush this bitch to pieces in front of you. Wang Yan said coldly. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with killing intent and he said coldly, Wang Yan, I will definitely kill you in the Battle of Providence. Haha, you're indeed an adulterous couple. You're trying to kill me. There's no need to wait until the Battle of Providence. Lu Ming, I'll make sure you won't be able to enter the Battle of Providence. Wang Yan sneered. For a moment, the atmosphere of the scene became very heavy. The road is about to open. At this moment, someone suddenly shouted. Everyone's eyes turned to the abyss. If one wanted to enter the door of light on the other side of the abyss and participate in the War of Providence, they had to cross the abyss. However, the abyss had a terrifying attractive force, making it impossible to fly. If anyone tried to fly, they would definitely fall into the abyss and die on the spot. He could only wait for the road to pass and step forward. At this moment, everyone could see that in front of the abyss, there were many floating stone platforms flying over. The round stone platforms were about 1 meter in diameter and were separated from each other. They were suspended above the abyss and extended to the other side, forming many paths. They were going to fly from these round platforms to the other side. Very quickly, the path was formed. The sky above the abyss was filled with round platforms. We only have the time for an incense stick to burn. After that, the round platform will collapse and the road will be over. Someone said. The start of every battle for Providence was similar, but the world behind the door of light was different every time. The 4 forces didn't move for a while. Lu Ming, I'm going to kill you along the way. Wang Yan licked his lips, his killing intent overflowing. Many powerful paragons also looked at Lu Ming coldly. They also had the intention to kill Lu Ming on this path. With his talent, he should be participating. Otherwise, he will never be able to compete with the other heaven's favorites. Someone else said. Humph, there's not much time left. I'll be leaving first. Some powerful heaven's favorites couldn't help but start moving. Lu Ming still did not move. In the Sky Demon Valley and the Emperor Sky Divine Palace, many paragons looked at Lu Ming with killing intent and moved one after another. Lu Ming is mine. I will kill him. How could his Tao of inscription be so strong? With such a powerful Tao of inscription and a powerful martial cultivation, how terrifying would it be? He couldn't help but worry about the Wang clan's prodigy. This time, who knows who will kill who? Bai Shijin sneered. Wang Shengtian looked at Bai Shijin coldly and said, How dare your talisman amulet sect protect Lu Ming and even provide him with resources for his cultivation? Just wait for the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace's revenge. Without the talisman amulet sect's help, he did not believe that Lu Ming's inscription Tao could reach that level. I'll keep you company. Let's go. Bai Shijin was unyielding. After leaving those words, he left through the teleportation vortex. Du Songjue and the others did the same. After that, the people of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, the Heavenly Corpse Sect, and the Sky Demon Valley all left through the teleportation vortex and returned to their respective sections. The Battle of Providence would last for a year, and only after the ancient city of Providence appeared would the final battle take place to determine the final ranking. From there, the ancient city of Providence would descend with luck. Now, the people outside had to wait. Lu Ming stepped into the light door. The next moment, he realized that he had appeared in a forest. In the surroundings, ancient trees towered into the sky. At a glance, they were all trees that would take more than a dozen people to wrap their arms around. The spiritual energy here is so dense. Also, I can sense the essence of the world so clearly here. Lu Ming sensed it and his eyes were filled with shock. He found that the heaven and earth spiritual chi here was so dense that it was almost solid. The surrounding milky white fog was formed by the heaven and earth spiritual chi. The spiritual chi here was equivalent to the total spiritual chi of a supreme-grade spiritual crystal. Furthermore, the essence realm of heaven and earth here could be sensed very clearly, dozens of times more than the outside world. Cultivating in such an environment would allow one's cultivation base to advance at a tremendous pace. This was simply a holy land for cultivation. It was no wonder that everyone wanted to participate in the Battle of Providence. Even if they didn't want any other opportunities, just cultivating here for a year was a great opportunity. I'll refine the blood essence energy first. Immediately, Lu Ming waved his fingers and carved a large array around him. Blue mental energy fire emanated from his fingertips. Lu Ming was still a 6th-level alchemist and had not broken through to the 7th level. When he was at the observatory, he had lit up 9 blue spirit lamps. In the following months, he had successfully lit up the 10th blue spirit lamp. Level 6. Full circle. All 6 levels were at perfection. How exuberant was his mental energy fire. How powerful was his spiritual power. He was even more powerful than some inscription masters who had just broken through to rank 7. Therefore, when Lu Ming was at level 6, he was able to inscribe an array in the air and carve the array onto the void. It was mysterious and unpredictable. How could Wang Shengtian have thought of this? He had thought that Lu Ming was a level 7 inscriber. In an instant, a huge illusory formation was carved. Lu Ming sat cross-legged and began to refine the blood essence and essential core of the more than 10 death warriors that he had just devoured. However, when he was refining it, Lu Ming suddenly opened his eyes. There was a look of shock in his eyes. This time, he found that the 9-dragon bloodline not only devoured blood essence, vital essence, and blood, but also intent runes. That's right, the bloodline of the 9 dragons had devoured the intent runes of those death warriors. There's the wind, fire, and water concepts. Can the 9-dragon bloodline devour concept runes and refine them for its own use? At the thought of this, Lu Ming's heart started to beat rapidly. If that was the case, then it was too heaven-defying. Intent realm, blood essence, true essence, and other energies were different. Intent realm relied on comprehension. Could it be devoured and refined? Lu Ming found it hard to believe. We'll know once we try. Lu Ming immediately began to refine it. Meeting another 3-eyed god. Half an hour later, Lu Ming opened his eyes. Other than shock, there was also joy in his eyes. It could really be refined. Lu Ming discovered that other than energy such as blood essence, fresh blood, and vital essence that could be refined, intent runes could also be refined. Although the intent runes could not be completely refined and a large part would be lost in the process of refining, there was still a part that was integrated into Lu Ming's own intent runes. In an instant, Lu Ming's comprehension of the intent increased by leaps and bounds, and he improved rapidly. This feeling was extremely profound and difficult to describe in words. After refining all the intent runes of the Death Warriors, his wind and fire intents had improved greatly. Since he had not comprehended the water concept, Lu Ming made the water concept runes dissipate. Lu Ming's current mood could only be described as ecstatic. He could even devour intent runes and turn them into his own. In the future, his cultivation would improve by leaps and bounds. Ha ha ha! Lu Ming could not help but burst out laughing. So what if he had comprehended many intent realms? The more he comprehended, the faster he could improve. Lu Ming's heart started to race. He was thinking if he should comprehend other concepts. Otherwise, it would be a waste if he devoured them. Forget it. I'll wait for a while. It's not wise to comprehend a new intent right now. It'll hinder my cultivation speed. I'll consider it after the Battle of Providence is over. Lu Ming took a deep breath and calmed himself down. Now was not the time to be impulsive. There were great opportunities in the Battle of Providence. In such an environment, other people's cultivation would definitely advance by leaps and bounds. However, if he comprehended a new intent realm now, his cultivation would not improve for a period of time even with the 9-dragon bloodline. In the Battle of Providence, it was not wise to fall behind by one step. What is this place? Lu Ming immediately began to observe. He flew high into the sky and looked around. All around him were mountains and ancient trees. Lu Ming randomly chose a direction and flew forward. There's quite a lot of spirit herbs here. After flying for some time, Lu Ming discovered a few stalks of spiritual medicine growing on a cliff. There were 3 of them in total, and they were the superior grade 6th grade spirit medicine, returning origin grass. Lu Ming flew down and waved his hand. His essential core rolled out and he plucked the 3 returning origin herbs. The moment Lu Ming plucked the returning origin grass, a light suddenly flashed in front of him. Then, a jade book condensed and formed. This jade book only had 2 pages, and there was a line of words on the surface. 3 points. This is the Book of Destiny. Lu Ming's eyes flickered and he was secretly amazed. It was said that the Battle of Providence was extremely mysterious. The first year was a time to search for opportunities to improve one's cultivation, and also a time to accumulate providence. Yes, to accumulate fate. During the Battle of Providence, if one could find ruins, treasures, or inheritances of experts, not only would they obtain great opportunities, but they would also obtain providence. During this period, even if you found a spiritual herb or a precious material, it would accumulate fate. Some people were lucky and could casually find a treasure trove, obtain a legacy, and obtain a massive amount of fate. Every person who participated in the Battle of Providence would obtain a Book of Providence the first time they obtained providence. The amount of providence one had accumulated, whether it was strong or weak, would all be converted into providence value, which would be displayed on the Book of Providence. It was truly a miraculous sight. It was said that luck was not only useful for one's own body, but also for one's family and friends if one obtained enough luck. It could make their luck and even their talent stronger. It would also be of great use to the sect they were in. It was said that the sect master of the sect would be the one who would receive the most benefits. This was also why the major forces attached great importance to the Battle of Providence. That should be the Battle of Providence. However, the Battle of Providence takes place in a different region each time. Those who come and go should be people from other regions, or even people from other continents beyond the sea. Lu Ming made a guess. Is there anything special around here? Lu Ming asked. Yes, there are some strange places. Some places are very dangerous, and my clan doesn't dare to enter. Some places, once my clan enters, we will be killed. The 3-eyed god replied. The Emperor's Sword. Among the crowd, Lu Ming saw Di Feng. Di Feng, ranked 101st on the list of top 1,000 talents, was the descendant of martial Emperor Di. Di Feng's eyes glinted with killing intent when he saw Lu Ming. In addition, the demons of the Sky Demon Valley also looked at him with cold eyes. Lu Ming, Wang Yan said that he wanted to keep you outside. It seems like he didn't succeed. It just so happens that you're the person the martial Emperor Ancestor wants. If I cripple you and bring you back to the martial Emperor Ancestor, I'll definitely make a great contribution. A powerful aura emanated from Di Feng, as a sharp sword chi burst forth from him. As I said before, if you want to kill me, you have to be prepared to be killed by me. Di Yi's descendant, you should collect some interest first. Lu Ming's eyes darkened. Kill! Di Feng waved his hand, and 7 figures appeared behind him. The 7 figures were all men of sacrifice wearing black robes and carrying long swords on their backs. In reality, there were over 20 people in the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. There were over 10 death warriors, and the rest were the young geniuses and genius characters. It was obvious that Di Feng was the leader. Each of the 7 death warriors had a cultivation at the peak of the 9th level spiritual ocean realm. The 7 of them worked together to form a battle formation that was seamless as they charged toward Lu Ming. Whoosh! Whoosh! The sword chi swept across, and the sword radiance was like a net that enveloped Lu Ming. Boom! Lu Ming struck out with his palm and the sword radiance was shattered. The huge palm force made the 7 men of sacrifice spit out blood and fly back. Devour! His left palm clenched into a fist and a terrifying devouring force erupted. The 7 men of sacrifice could not control their bodies at all and were devoured by Lu Ming. Their blood essence, true vitality, and even intent runes were all devoured by Lu Ming. In the blink of an eye, they turned into 7 dried corpses. Everyone's eyes were filled with horror. Directly devouring people into mummies, this scene was too evil. What an overbearing demonic technique! A paragon from the Heavenly Corpse sect cried out in shock. The cultivation techniques of the Heavenly Corpse sect were all evil and powerful. Some of them could also turn people into mummies, but the speed was not as fast as this. It was too overbearing. Evil and crooked path must be cut off. Di Feng's voice was ice-cold, filled with killing intent. Buzz! The sound of a sword clashing rang out as Di Feng stepped out. A terrifying sword might burst forth, and a golden sword chi slashed towards Lu Ming. With 4 concepts surrounding him, Lu Ming struck out with his palm and collided with the golden sword radiance. Boom! A deafening explosion sounded, and the golden sword radiance dissipated. Lu Ming, you're quite capable, but you're still too inexperienced to fight me. Di Feng let out a long howl as a golden combat sword appeared above his head. A golden dragon was coiled around the hilt of the sword, giving off a mighty aura and endless sword light. 4 golden chakras were floating around the combat sword. Divine level 4th rank bloodline. The Emperor sword is a bloodline unique to the Di family. Lu Ming's heart stirred. It was said that the direct bloodline of the Di family, headed by Martial Emperor Di, had been passed down through the bloodline of the Emperor sword. Of course, the same bloodline had different levels. Some were level 1 deities, while others were level 2 deities. The power was also completely different. I'll kill you today. Di Feng's cold voice rang out. His body transformed into a ray of light, merging into the Emperor sword. Instantly, the sword chi soared into the sky, and the sword power was vast and mighty. The Emperor sword moved and the wind and clouds were split in half. The terrifying combat sword slashed down at Lu Ming's head, intending to split him in half. Di Feng was indeed very strong. His cultivation was at the peak of the 9th level of the spiritual ocean realm, and the cultivation technique he cultivated was undoubtedly a divine level cultivation technique. With the addition of the 4th level divine bloodline Emperor sword, the power he could unleash was extremely terrifying. He could definitely fight with an expert of the 1st level of the spirit embryo realm. However, Lu Ming's current combat strength was more than just at the 1st level of the spirit embryo realm. Boom! Lu Ming immediately burst out with dragon energy, and scales appeared. He activated the prison-suppressing heaven technique and threw a punch at the combat sword. Clang! A melodious voice was heard. The Emperor's sword trembled continuously and was actually sent flying. The others were shocked. Di Feng, ranked 101st on the list of top 1,000 talents, was actually sent flying by a single punch from Lu Ming. How could Lu Ming's combat strength be so terrifying? Could it be that he had already surpassed Di Feng? Kill! Lu Ming strode forward, clenched his fist, and punched the Emperor sword again. World-slaying sword. Di Feng's furious roar came from the Emperor sword. The sword power was vast and the killing intent was sharp as it charged towards Lu Ming. Clang! The sword and the fist collided, and the Emperor sword trembled even more violently. Clang! Clang! Lu Ming swung his fist and attacked again. The Emperor's sword trembled continuously, and the sword power that was spreading from the sword was weakening. Bang! In the end, the Emperor's sword exploded, revealing Di Feng's figure. His face was filled with fear and disbelief. Lu Ming's combat strength had surpassed him in all aspects. How was this possible? He found it hard to accept. Back at the Nine Dragons exchange meet, although Lu Ming was strong, Di Feng was 100% confident that he could kill Lu Ming. During this period of time, his cultivation level had increased again. However, he was not Lu Ming's match and was defeated. Why was Lu Ming's improvement speed so terrifying? So what if your cultivation is stronger than mine? Can't even withstand a single blow. Lu Ming's eyes were cold as he strode forward, charging towards Di Feng. Buzz! Di Feng did not hesitate, turning into a beam of light as he flew towards the other side. Although there were many people at the entrance of the canyon, Di Feng was clear that none of them could stop Lu Ming. If they stayed, they would definitely be killed by Lu Ming. You want to leave? Have you asked me? Lu Ming stepped out, his body like a stream of light, chasing after Di Feng. Di Feng was terrified. He took out a 7th-level spiritual weapon, but it was broken into two by Lu Ming's punch. Boom! Lu Ming's punch was so powerful that it pierced through the void, causing Di Feng to spit out a mouthful of blood. Di Feng was even more shocked and desperately tried to escape. At this moment, a purple light was approaching them at an extreme speed. Wang Yan! Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. That figure was Wang Yan. Wang Yan, save me! Seeing Wang Yan, Di Feng was overjoyed and rushed towards Wang Yan with all his might. Lu Ming, you're not dead. Wang Yan was shocked to see Lu Ming. Previously, when they were crossing the abyss, he had given Lu Ming a fatal blow and even ordered the Death Warrior to snipe Lu Ming. Under that situation, the round platform had already collapsed. He concluded that Lu Ming had fallen into the abyss and died. He was naturally shocked to see Lu Ming. Whoosh! Like a purple flame, Wang Yan crossed the void and appeared in front of Di Feng. Lu Ming, you're really lucky. Alright, since that's the case, let me finish you off myself. On Wang Yan's body, purple flames danced. With Wang Yan as the center, it directly formed a black hole. Over there, other than him, it seemed as if everyone else's physical matter had been burned to ashes. I've said it before. I'll definitely kill you. Now that I've run into you, it's just right. Lu Ming's figure did not stop as he pounced towards Wang Yan. Compared to Di Feng, he wanted to kill Wang Yan more. A fist covered in scales flew towards Wang Yan. At the same time, Wang Yan also stepped forward and threw a punch. Chapter 904 Battling Wang Yan. The two fists collided, and the space kept shaking. Wang Yan's body trembled as he retreated 3 steps back. As for Lu Ming, he took 2 steps back. However, his arm was covered in a layer of purple flames. The terrifying flames were terrifyingly hot, as if they were going to burn Lu Ming's arm to ashes. Even with the protection of the scale armor, Lu Ming felt a piercing pain. The true war dragon technique circulated, and the 4 wills burst forth and condensed on his arm. A sizzling sound immediately came from his arm, and the flame was extinguished. What a terrifying flame! Die! You're courting death! Wang Yan roared as the flames on his body grew even more terrifying. He seemed to have turned into a man of fire, and even his hair was covered in flames. A dragon's roar was heard as Lu Ming released 2 more bursts of dragon energy. Wang Yan was very strong. His cultivation had already reached the great circle of the spirit ocean realm, and he was half a step into the spirit embryo realm. His intent had also reached level 3. At the same time, his bloodline was at the 5th level of the divine level, and the bloodline martial techniques he comprehended from his bloodline were also high-grade demigod martial techniques. It could be said that he was not much weaker than Lu Ming in terms of intent and martial arts techniques. His cultivation base had also increased by a large margin. Lu Ming's greatest advantage was his rich essential core and dragon power. With 3 bursts of dragon energy, Lu Ming was extremely powerful and his strength seemed to be endless. Boom! Boom! As he and Wang Yan clashed, a terrifying storm of energy swept out in all directions. For a time, it was difficult to determine the winner of the battle between the two. In the distance, Di Feng was extremely shocked. When Lu Ming was fighting him earlier, he clearly did not use his full strength. Yet, Lu Ming was actually able to fight Wang Yan. Wang Yan was ranked 98th on the list of top 1,000 talents. Although he was only a few ranks higher than Di Feng, Their strength was on a completely different level. Wang Yan was several times stronger than Di Feng and could easily kill him. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged dozens of moves. Wang Yan's heart was filled with shock. Each of Lu Ming's punches seemed to contain infinite power, causing his body to tremble and his qi and blood to churn. If it was not for the fact that his flames were extremely terrifying, causing Lu Ming to be wary and need to use a portion of his power to resist his flames, he might not have been able to defeat him. Who? Above Wang Yan's head, a ball of purple flame appeared. It was similar to Wang Haoxian's purple heavenly fire, but it was much more terrifying than Wang Haoxian's. 5 dazzling golden chakras flickered as Wang Yan used the bloodline fusion. The purple flames transformed into a purple flaming divine eagle that pounced at Lu Ming. Roar! A dragon's roar resounded and the bloodline of the 9 dragons emerged. Lu Ming's body moved and merged with the bloodline of the 9 dragons. Suddenly, he turned into 9 dragons. With a long roar, he pounced on the purple divine eagle. With a roar, the devouring power burst out and enveloped the purple godly eagle. The huge dragon claw grabbed at the purple godly eagle. The purple godly eagle flapped its wings, and endless flames burst out. At the same time, it reached out its claws to grab the 9 dragons. Instantly, a dragon and an eagle began a great battle in the sky. In the distance, Di Feng was shocked beyond words. How is that possible? Di Feng roared. Back in the Battle of 9 Dragons, Lu Ming had activated the 9 Dragon bloodline. At that time, the 9 Dragon bloodline was still in the form of a 5-clawed true dragon. Di Feng had seen it from afar. Could it be that the martial emperor patriarch wants this kind of bloodline? Di Feng's heart jumped. Lu Ming had once shouted in 9 Dragons that martial emperor Di only wanted his bloodline. Could it be this kind of bloodline? Di Feng's heart was in turmoil. The battle between Lu Ming and Wang Yan was still difficult to determine. Now that Lu Ming and martial emperor Di were in the open, there was no need to hide the 9 Dragon bloodline. He would use it when he needed to. Hee, it's really lively. At this moment, a cold voice came from the distance. A young man with an ancient coffin on his back walked over. They were the experts of the Heavenly Corpse sect. Corpse Puppet. Di Feng's eyes narrowed. The Corpse Puppet was ranked 96th on the list of top 1,000 talents, 2 ranks higher than Wang Yan. Corpse Puppet, you've come at the right time. Let's work together and kill this person. Wang Yan's voice came from the purple godly hawk. Wang Yan, join forces with you? Why should I join hands with you? The Corpse Puppet sneered and stood at the side, watching with its arms crossed. Boom! The 9 dragons and the godly eagle clashed and retreated. They didn't continue fighting and looked at the Corpse Puppet with fear. The Corpse Puppet clearly wanted to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight, taking advantage of the situation. Almost at the same time, Lu Ming and Wang Yan transformed back into their human forms and stood in 3 directions with the Corpse Puppet. Hee, why did you guys stop? The Corpse Puppet licked its lips, its eyes extremely cold. Lu Ming looked at the Corpse Puppet, his eyes frowning. He could sense a dangerous aura from the Corpse Puppet. This person might be even more terrifying than Wang Yan. He thought of Demonic Corpse, who was ranked 102nd on the list of top 1,000 talents. They both carried an ancient coffin on their backs, and perhaps they practiced the same technique. Corpse Puppet, do you want both of us to be injured and then be killed by you one by one? Wang Yan snorted coldly. He was also extremely afraid of Corpse Puppets. As such, the 3 parties were all wary and no one made a move. Corpse Puppet, the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect have always had a grudge. Why don't you and I join forces to kill Wang Yan? What do you think? Lu Ming suddenly spoke. The Corpse Puppet's eyes flickered, and when it looked at Wang Yan, its gaze became even colder. Clearly it was moved. Wang Yan was shocked. He could not even take down Lu Ming alone. If the Corpse Puppet was added, he would definitely be in danger. Corpse Puppet, Martial Emperor Di wants Lu Ming. If you work with him, I'm afraid he'll think you're accomplices. Wang Yan hurriedly said. The Corpse Puppet's eyes immediately revealed a trace of fear. Although the Heavenly Corpse sect and the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace were enemies, And the Heavenly Corpse Sex Corpse Emperor would naturally deal with Martial Emperor DE. If he was really targeted by Martial Emperor DE, even the Corpse Emperor would not be able to protect him. Haha, why would I join hands with him? You must be joking. The corpse puppet laughed and said, how about this? The Demon Tree Canyon is just ahead. How about this? We'll enter the canyon first. If there are treasures inside, we'll fight for them with our own abilities. How about that? All right. Lu Ming nodded. It was not a good idea to continue the stalemate. If one or two more top 100 talents on the list of top 1,000 talents came, it might be disadvantageous to Lu Ming. As for Wang Yan, it would not be too late to kill him later. I have no objections either, Wang Yan said. After that, the three of them and Di Feng returned to the canyon. However, the three of them kept a distance from each other, guarding against each other. What dangers are there in this valley? Why don't you guys go in? Wang Yan asked. Chapter 905 Nature Fruit. This canyon is full of hidden dangers. A few of us have already died in there. Di Feng secretly glanced at Lu Ming with a flash of killing intent. He then answered Wang Yan's question. Hidden killing intent? Then send more people to test the waters. You guys go. Wang Yan pointed at a few men of sacrifice who were carrying long swords on their backs. These men of sacrifice were not afraid of death at all. They were expressionless when they heard this. Two of them stepped forward and rushed into the canyon. The canyon was surrounded by clouds and mist. From a distance, it was a blur. Whoosh, whoosh. At this moment, something shot out from both sides of the canyon, fast as lightning. Sword light flashed as the two men of sacrifice pulled out their swords and slashed out sword lights. To be honest, these death warriors had pretty good combat strength. They reached the peak 9th level spiritual ocean realm and instantly shattered those things. It looks like a tree root. Wang Yan's eyes narrowed. Lu Ming's expression changed. The things that rushed out from the two sides of the canyon did look like tree roots. Whoosh! As the two Dare to Die fighters pushed forward, more and more powerful attacks rushed out from both sides. Gradually, the two Dare to Die fighters couldn't resist them anymore and were finally entangled by the endless tree root-like things. Those things that look like tree roots should be plant-type creatures. Let the Earth Death Warriors block them while we charge in. Wang Yan said. Di Feng nodded. With a wave of his hand, a few men of sacrifice carrying large hammers rushed in. Tentacle-like things also reached out. The Death Warrior picked up the hammer and smashed it on the ground. Boom! A row of stone walls appeared on the ground, blocking the attack of the tentacles. Charge! At this moment, Wang Yan, Di Feng, Shi Xiao, and the others all rushed in. It's a Death Warrior who has cultivated the Earth Essence realm. Lu Ming's eyes glimmered. These men of sacrifice with big hammers on their backs were all men of sacrifice who had cultivated the will of the earth. This made Lu Ming very tempted. If he devoured their will runes, his will of the earth would definitely be able to reach a higher level. By then, his cultivation would be able to improve further. Lu Ming took a step forward and rushed in. Whoosh! Whoosh! The walls on both sides of the canyon seemed to have come alive. Tentacle-like things kept extending from inside. They were tough and sharp, and they kept piercing through and winding around them. The Earth Death Warriors controlled the earth and blocked it with stone walls. With a wave of his hand, an endless amount of sword chi poured out, cutting off the tentacles one by one. As for Wang Yan, with a wave of his hand, terrifying flames spread out, turning those tentacles into ashes. As for the corpse puppet, it was more unique. It was as if it was not afraid of death. It charged forward and waved its hand. Those tentacles that came into contact with it were directly broken by it. This body, no, it's like a refined corpse. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He felt that the corpse puppet's body did not seem like a human body. Instead, it was like a refined corpse. It was extremely terrifying. Whoosh! A few tentacles tried to wrap around Lu Ming, but were broken by him with a wave of his hand. Bright red liquid flowed out of the tentacle. It really looks like a tree root. Lu Ming realized that these tentacles were similar to tree roots, but they seemed to be alive. The deeper they went, the more roots there were. However, with everyone working together, including experts like Wang Yan, corpse puppet, and Lu Ming, they naturally had nothing to fear and continued to advance. All of a sudden, the roots on both sides retracted. They had reached the end of the canyon. Roar! Roar! In front of them, a few huge figures blocked their way. They were a few huge demonic beasts. No, they should be fierce beasts. In fact, there was no difference between demonic beasts and fierce beasts. However, after demonic beasts had more contact with humans, they would understand the human language and could take human form. On the other hand, ferocious beasts were more primitive beasts. They were fiercer and disdained to transform into human form. They had always maintained their beast appearance. 3 of them appeared before him. They were ferocious beasts, and they exuded a powerful aura. The first tier of the 7th level was equivalent to the aura of the first level of the spirit embryo realm. 3 Class 1 Level 7 fierce beasts. How about we take one each? The corpse puppet looked at Wang Yan and Lu Ming. All right. Lu Ming nodded. This is only fair. Wang Yan laughed coldly, as he secretly transmitted a message to Di Feng. When we make our move, you guys take the opportunity to rush in. There's most likely a treasure in this canyon. All right. Di Feng secretly replied. Kill. Suddenly, the corpse puppet and Lu Ming charged forward at the same time. The 3 beasts roared and charged at them. Wang Yan made his move as well, each of them taking on one. Lu Ming's opponent was a rat-like ferocious beast. It was pitch black and extremely fast. Its teeth, claws and tail were all extremely powerful weapons. Whoosh! Whoosh! The rat's tail twitched like a soft whip, cutting through the space and making a sharp whistling sound. Lu Ming stepped forward and swung his fist, bombarding it with an overbearing force. Bang! His fist landed on the rat's tail and it almost exploded. The beast was in pain and let out a sharp cry. It clawed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming threw another punch. At this moment, Wang Yan and the corpse puppet were also engaged in battle with the other 2 beasts. Charge! Di Feng seized the opportunity and rushed in with his men. The other Heaven's favorites from the Sky Corpse sect and the Sky Demon Valley also rushed in. Boom! Lu Ming's punch landed heavily on the rat's claws. A violent force erupted wildly. The rat shrieked and was sent flying. Whoosh! Lu Ming caught up with him. A long spear appeared in his hand and he struck out. With a plop, it pierced through the rat's mouth and killed it. A first-grade 7th level beast was killed by Lu Ming with ease. Almost at the same time, Wang Yan and the corpse puppet also ended their battle and killed the demonic beasts. Although they hadn't entered the spirit embryo realm, their battle prowess was so strong that they could almost easily kill a first-level spirit embryo realm. Even if they faced an ordinary 2nd-level spirit embryo realm, they wouldn't lose and might even win. Ah! Ah! At this moment, a few screams came from the valley. Wang Yan's expression changed as he rushed in. Lu Ming sneered and rushed in. Inside the canyon was a huge plot of land. It was very wide, and in front of it was a towering tree. It was very eye-catching. As for Di Feng and the others, they were surrounded by a few beasts. There were already a few corpses on the ground. There were 6 demonic beasts in total, and each of them had reached Class 1 Level 7. However, Lu Ming, Wang Yan, and the corpse puppet's attention was drawn to the large tree. On the tree, there were 10 bright red fruits that exuded a mysterious aura. 1,000 elephant fruit. That's 1,000 elephant fruit. Wang Yan shouted, his eyes filled with greed. Lu Ming was also greatly shocked. It was actually 1,000 elephant fruit. It was a magical fruit that could transform the will of nature into anything. If a warrior swallowed it, the fruit would transform into the will of nature that he or she wanted to understand. It could make the warrior's will of heaven and earth improve by leaps and bounds, and even break through the bottleneck. The giant ape of the demon clan. If the essence realm of heaven and earth was at the completion of level 2, there was a high chance that it could break through to level 3 after swallowing the all-creation fruit. Swallowing it after level 3 could also allow one's intent to have great progress. Such a rare treasure was almost impossible to find in the outside world. He didn't expect to encounter it here. I must get it! Lu Ming roared in his heart. The nature manifestation fruit was too important to him. Without any hesitation, Lu Ming soared into the sky and pounced toward the nature manifestation fruit. At the same time, Wang Yan and the corpse puppet also soared into the sky. Get lost! The 1,000-elephant fruit is mine! Wang Yan roared. With his flames boiling, he threw 2 consecutive punches at Lu Ming and the corpse puppet. The corpse puppet also launched 2 attacks at Lu Ming and Wang Yan. They both wanted to stop each other and get the nature manifestation fruit for themselves. You're the ones who should get lost. Lu Ming activated the prison suppressing heavenly art and threw 2 punches at Wang Yan and the corpse puppet. The 3 of them retreated at the same time. In the next moment, Lu Ming waved his hand and 2 huge puppets appeared. They charged at Wang Yan and the corpse puppet. The 2 puppets emitted a powerful aura. The 2 puppets were both at Class 1 Level 7. Lu Ming had bought it from the Talisman Amulet Sex Treasure Pavilion before the Battle of Providence. It was meant to be used at a critical moment. With his current mental strength, he had more than enough to control a first-grade 7th level puppet. Damn it! It's a puppet! You're an inscriber! Wang Yan was shocked and furious. He launched a violent attack at the puppet. The corpse puppet was in a similar situation. Its palm was like a blade as it slashed at the puppet. Lu Ming's figure flashed and he appeared on the big tree. With a wave of his hand, he put away the 10,000 elephant fruits. Don't even think about it. Corpse puppet, let's join forces and kill Lu Ming. Wang Yan let out a long howl, his killing intent surging like the tide. All right, let's join forces. The killing intent in the corpse puppet's eyes was also extremely cold. The nature manifestation fruit. Lu Ming actually wanted to keep the nature manifestation fruit for himself. How was that possible? Bang! Bang! The 2 puppets of the first class of the 7th rank were unable to hold Wang Yan and the corpse puppet back for long. Under the violent attacks of the 2, their bodies were deformed and they lost their ability to fight. However, this was enough. Lu Ming's figure flashed and he rushed out of the canyon. Lu Ming was about to rush out. Stay here! At this moment, a huge figure rushed in from outside the canyon. He let out a furious roar and a huge black fist was aimed at Lu Ming. The fist was the size of a water tank. Before the fist arrived, the terrifying pressure brought about by the fist made it difficult for Lu Ming to breathe. This was very sudden. Lu Ming wanted to avoid it but it was too late. Without thinking, Lu Ming threw a punch. Lu Ming used all his strength in this punch, erupting the strongest power of the prison-suppressing heaven art. He did not care about the huge consumption of his essential core because this punch put him in serious danger. Boom! Lu Ming's fist collided with the huge jet black fist. In an instant, Lu Ming felt an unimaginably huge force surging towards him. His body was sent flying backward like a cannonball, crashing heavily into the big tree. Bang! The big tree exploded, and pieces of wood flew everywhere. A burly figure appeared in front of everyone. It was a giant ape that was 10 meters tall. Its entire body was pitch black, and it shone with a metallic luster. This was a genius of the Sky Demon Valley. He had the bloodline of the ancient giant ape and was extremely powerful. He had definitely reached level 7. It wasn't even at the first grade of the 7th level, but above it. Hand over the 1,000 elephant fruit. The giant ape roared in anger and charged at Lu Ming with its huge palm. Bang! Pieces of wood flew everywhere as Lu Ming soared into the sky. At the same time, he waved his hand and a huge puppet appeared in front of the giant ape. Bang! Peak 9th level spiritual ocean realm. However, after flying for some distance, these shattered flames actually condensed back together, once again transforming into Wang Yan's appearance. However, his face was deathly pale, without a trace of blood. His body was covered with over a dozen sword wounds, blood flowing out of them. It was a terrible sight. Let's go! Wang Yan did not dare to stay any longer. He turned into a streak of fire and rushed out of the canyon in a sorry state. Compared to Wang Yan, the corpse puppet was in an even worse state. Although it had used all its means, one of its arms had still been cut off. It screeched as it escaped from the canyon. Boom! Boom! In the canyon, the giant ape continued to clash with the formation. This giant ape's strength was truly astonishing. It was incomparably powerful, and with every punch, a large amount of sword chi was shattered. Even if a few sword chi occasionally struck the giant ape, they could only leave shallow marks on its surface. This giant ape has at least 50% of the ancient giant ape's bloodline. Its body is extremely strong. This formation won't be able to hold it back for long. I'd better leave first. With a flash of thought, Lu Ming stepped into the void, his body like a stream of light, leaving the place. As expected, not long after Lu Ming left, the formation collapsed with a loud bang. The giant ape rushed out and let out an angry roar. Then, it turned into a burly young man with killing intent in his eyes. He growled, "Lu Ming, I'll kill you." With that, he strode out of the canyon. Lu Ming used the 9 Dragons' heaven-treading steps and was extremely fast. After leaving the canyon, he chose a random direction and went forward. Not long after, he had traveled more than 100,000 miles and found a hidden mountain forest. He flew down and set up an array in the surroundings. Lu Ming began to refine the energy. Previously, Lu Ming had devoured the blood essence and energy of the paragons, men of sacrifice, and even the demonic beasts who had died in the canyon. He circulated the bloodline of the 9 dragons and continued to refine it. I have the most earth and wind concepts. The other concepts are useless to me. Lu Ming had an idea. He directly removed the useless concepts and made the earth and wind concepts his own. Most of the earth and wind concepts came from the Death Warriors. Those men of sacrifice with big hammers cultivated the earth mentality, and those with long swords mostly cultivated the wind mentality. Lu Ming's earth and wind concepts were rapidly improving. Soon, his wind concept reached its limit, and he was only one step away from level 3. As for the earth concept, it had also reached the peak of level 2 upper tier. As his intent realm improved, the true essence and other energies were also being refined and transformed into true essence. Lu Ming's cultivation started to increase. Not long after, the aura on his body grew and he broke through to the 9th level of the spiritual ocean realm in one go. Furthermore, it continued to increase all the way to the peak of the 9th level of the spiritual ocean realm before it stopped. It had been upgraded by 1 level in one go. There are impurities in my true yuan and distracting thoughts in my intent realm. Suddenly, Lu Ming frowned. He could feel that his true yuan and intent weren't pure. There were some obstacles when he tried to use them. Although the obstacles were weak, if this continued, it would be a big problem. I know. Other people's Zhan Yuan and blood all have their own characteristics. I refined them, but there are still some of them left. It's even more so for the will. Every will that I comprehend has a distinct will. After I refined them, there are still some of them left. This is very normal. Lu Ming pondered for a moment and discovered the problem. He thought of his early days, when he often relied on devouring blood essence to improve his cultivation. Similarly, this would cause his cultivation foundation to be unstable and he would need time to consolidate it. Later on, he used all his blood essence to improve his bloodline and relied on devouring spiritual crystals and raw stones to improve his cultivation. He no longer had to worry about this. Spiritual crystals and raw gemstones were all natural and extremely pure. The concept of wind had successfully broken through to the 3rd level. This was Lu Ming's first step towards the spirit embryo realm. It's been 20 days. The next step is to continue searching for those strange places and opportunities to obtain more fate value. Lu Ming thought. Paragons everywhere. With a thought, the Book of Destiny appeared. Lu Ming's current luck value had become 2,500 points. This should be the increase from the 10,000 elephant fruits he seized last time. It had increased by more than 2,000 points. From this, it could be seen how amazing the amount of fate value one could obtain by searching for strange places and seizing opportunities. With a single thought, the Book of Destiny disappeared. Lu Ming took out the map that he had obtained from the three-eyed god and studied it. Within a radius of 100,000 miles, only the Double Moon Mountain and the Divine Bird Cliff are strange. It's very likely that there are treasures or opportunities inside. Lu Ming looked at the map for a while and kept it. Let's go to the Divine Bird Cliff and take a look first. Lu Ming randomly chose a place and flew towards the divine bird cliff according to the marks on the map. The journey of tens of thousands of miles was soon completed. In front of them was a huge cliff that reached into the clouds. They could see it from far away. It was the divine bird cliff. Lu Ming was about to fly over when two powerful auras burst out from the divine bird cliff. Boom! With a loud boom, a figure rushed into the sky, his corpse chi billowing. Corpse puppet, he has broken through to the spirit embryo realm. Lu Ming's expression changed. He immediately restrained his aura and landed in the forest below to watch from a distance. At this moment, the corpse puppet's face carried a trace of fear and appeared to be in a sorry state. Corpse puppet, die! A domineering voice was heard, and demonic chi soared into the sky. A young man in a black robe appeared and blocked in front of the corpse puppet. This youth's eyes were cold and his demonic chi was monstrous. His aura was much stronger than a corpse puppet that had reached the spirit embryo realm. Luo Li, don't you go too far. The corpse puppet roared. Luo Li, little demon lord Luo Li. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and he looked solemn. There were two supreme geniuses among the imperial guards of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, and they were blood brothers. Demon Lord Luo Tian, little demon Lord Luo Li, and demon Lord Luo Tian. Their talents were monstrous and extremely terrifying. They were ranked 10th on the list of top 1,000 talents. As for the little demon lord, Luo Li, he was not as talented, but he was still very terrifying. He was ranked 61st on the list of top 1,000 talents. Ha ha ha, what a joke. Weaklings can only say such words. So what if I'm bullying you? Today you will die. The luck value on your body belongs to me. Ha 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 ha. Luo Li laughed as the black mist around him churned. His demonic might was extremely powerful. He took a step forward, and his demonic might completely enveloped the corpse puppet, turning it into a demonic territory. Charge! The corpse puppet didn't dare to fight back. Its corpse chi burst out and formed a sword light, trying to break through the demonic power and escape. Die! Die! Luo Li shouted coldly as a black light burst out. The stunning blade light seemed to be able to split the heavens and earth apart. It was unparalleled and unstoppable. The corpse puppet couldn't even block a single blade. Its head was chopped off, and its corpse fell to the ground. However, the ancient coffin on the corpse puppet's back trembled and flew into the distance at an extreme speed. The human corpse transformation technique is useless in front of me. A cold voice came out of Luo Li's mouth. A blade light cut through the void and struck the ancient coffin. The ancient coffin exploded, and a skinny figure emerged from it. He was panicking and fleeing for his life. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. This was the true body of the corpse puppet. The one before was just his refined corpse. However, the refined corpse was actually no different from a human. It could open its mouth and communicate with people, which was really amazing. A saber light slashed at the corpse puppet again. No! The corpse puppet roared, and in the next moment, it was directly cut in half by the saber light. The corpse puppet, ranked 96th on the list of top 1,000 talents, had been killed just like that. It was clear how brutal the battle of destiny was. This was only the beginning, and it would only get more brutal as time went on. It wasn't an exaggeration to call it the burial ground of the top talents. After Luo Li killed the corpse puppet, he waved his hand and kept the storage ring. Then, he looked in Lu Ming's direction with his demonic eyes. Lu Ming's expression changed. Could it be that he was discovered by Luo Li despite being so far away? However, Aro Li only took a glance and sneered. He then shifted his gaze and descended toward the divine bird cliff. It seems like we can't go to the divine bird cliff. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. Ro Li's cultivation base was too strong. Compared to him, he was far behind, so he could only avoid him. He turned around quietly and headed in the direction of the Double Moon Mountain. Not long after, they were only a few thousand miles away from the Double Moon Mountain. Lu Ming concealed his aura and slowly approached. Who knew if there were any powerful geniuses on the Double Moon Mountain? Lu Ming had to be more careful. Boom! All of a sudden, a purple flame shot up into the sky from below and blasted toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's expression changed. He took a step back and retreated rapidly, avoiding the attack. A figure appeared in front of Lu Ming. Wang Yan. Lu Ming's expression changed. He realized that the aura on Wang Yan's body was extremely terrifying. It was not the aura of the spiritual ocean tier, but the spirit embryo tier. Wang Yan had also broken through to the spirit embryo realm. For a genius like Wang Yan to break through from the spiritual ocean tier to the spirit embryo tier, it was definitely not just a little bit of improvement. His battle prowess would skyrocket. Lu Ming, let's see how you die this time. Wang Yan's eyes were as cold as ice. Previously, he was severely injured by Lu Ming and almost died. He hated Lu Ming to the core. A mere piece of trash dared to seriously injure him. This was simply unforgivable. The flames on his body were several times more terrifying than they were 20 days ago. The temperature was so high that even the space began to distort. Even from a distance, Lu Ming could feel a sharp pain in his body, as if his entire body was on fire. Whoosh! In a flash, Wang Yan crossed the void and appeared in front of Lu Ming. He threw a punch at Lu Ming. A dragon's roar resounded. Lu Ming did not hold back at all and instantly exploded with all his dragon energy. 4 streams of dragon energy exploded. The vital essence in his body roared and 4 types of concepts swirled around. He activated the prison-suppressing heavenly art and threw a punch. Boom! A beam of fire soared into the sky and Lu Ming's body was sent flying. Blood spurted out of his mouth and he felt a sharp pain on his arm. The dragon scales were cracked by the flames and the surface of his arm was charred black. The fragrance of roasted meat wafted out. Too powerful. Wang Yan's battle prowess had increased by too much after breaking through to the spirit embryo realm. Even though Lu Ming's cultivation had risen to the peak 9th level of the spiritual ocean realm during this period of time, he was still far from being Wang Yan's match. His breakthrough was only a small breakthrough, while Wang Yan's was a huge breakthrough. It was incomparable. If Lu Ming had not broken through, he would not have been able to withstand a single punch and would have been seriously injured. I'm not his match right now. Let's go. Lu Ming turned around and cast the 9 dragons' heaven treading steps. He turned into a stream of light and disappeared into the distance. It's not that easy to escape. You must die today. Die. Wang Yan roared and turned into a flash of fire, chasing after Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. However, in terms of speed, Lu Ming was still faster. The distance between the two of them was slowly widening. Damn it! Wang Yan roared. However, at this moment, Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. In front of him, an extremely sharp ray of light pierced through the air and flew toward Lu Ming. The three-eyed god race did not know about formations, but from his words, Lu Ming could tell that there was a formation set up in front of the Double Moon Mountain. Therefore, Lu Ming rushed over. With the array, it was Lu Ming's chance. Buzz! Lu Ming transformed back into his human form and rushed towards the Double Moon Mountain. After he charged in, his figure constantly flickered, sometimes left and sometimes right, slowly moving forward. Buzz! Buzz! Breaking through to become a level 7 alchemist. Just now, he had already used 100% of his Zhan Yuan and used the prison-suppressing heaven technique. However, his punch did not break the stone door. This stone door was frighteningly hard. The next moment, Lu Ming directly exploded his dragon power. Scales appeared on his body and his muscles bulged. He was filled with explosive power. Boom! A heavy punch landed on the stone door, causing it to shake violently. The 2 mountains beside the stone door also shook violently, but in the end, the stone door remained intact. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming was like a ferocious beast in human form. He punched the stone door several times in a row, but he still could not break it open. It's too hard. With my cultivation level, there's still a gap. I can't break it. Lu Ming frowned. Ha ha ha, the heavens are really helping me. I'd better wait for my death outside. Seeing this, Wang Yan laughed arrogantly. Jiang Taichong also revealed a smile. Lu Ming frowned. He turned around and stopped attacking the stone door. Instead, he started to inscribe an array on the empty space. Humph. You want to inscribe a formation to protect yourself? Dream on. Wang Yan sneered. Since they had seen it, they would definitely be more careful in the future. They would not enter Lu Ming's array easily. Lu Ming spent 3 hours setting up a large array. He then stopped. Indeed, Wang Yan and Jiang Taichong had both seen him inscribing a formation here. No matter how powerful the formation he had inscribed was, Wang Chong and Jiang Taishu would not be fooled into walking in. Therefore, the array that he had just carved was not a powerful killing array at all. Instead, it was an array that assisted in the cultivation of mental fire. The only way out now was strength. As long as he had enough strength, he would not need to fear Wang Yan and Jiang Taichong. Therefore, he could only break through on his own. However, Lu Ming's current martial arts cultivation was only at the peak 9th level of the spiritual ocean realm. There was still the perfected spiritual ocean realm above him. He would only be able to break through to the spirit embryo realm if he went further. It was almost impossible to break through in a short time. Lu Ming estimated that the array at Double Moon Mountain could only hold Wang Yan and Jiang Taichong back for 5 days at most. It was almost impossible to break through to the spirit embryo realm in 5 days. Now, only the Tao of inscription could make it possible. Initially, Lu Ming had already lit up 10 blue spirit lamps. He was only 1 step away from becoming a 7th-level alchemist. As long as his inscription Tao reached level 7, Lu Ming's strength would increase greatly. By then, he would be able to contend or even kill Wang Yan and Jiang Taichong with his inscription Tao. Originally, it wasn't the time for a breakthrough yet. It wasn't perfect yet and needed to cultivate for a period of time before it could naturally break through. However, he could not care so much now. Lu Ming had to use some means and strive to break through within 5 days. He sat down cross-legged and took out a pill. Lu Ming had bought the Spirit Enrage pill from the Talisman Amulet Sect's Treasure Pavilion. Consuming this pill would cause one's mental energy fire to go berserk. It could increase one's mental energy fire for a short period of time and, from there, achieve the effect of breaking through to the next realm. However, there was a risk here. If he failed to break through to the next realm, it might cause a few of his mental lamps to go out, and it would be very difficult to cultivate back later. Even if he succeeded in breaking through, his foundation would still be unstable, which would affect his future cultivation. He would need to spend time to make up for it. But now he couldn't care so much. He had to get through the difficulties in front of him. Lu Ming had to break through to the next realm within 5 days. Lu Ming swallowed the violent spirit pill without hesitation. He then activated the meditation and started cultivating. In his sea of consciousness, his mental energy fire started to go berserk and burned even more vigorously. On the ground, the array glowed. This kind of array could also allow the mental energy fire to erupt with even more power. Time passed quickly. Killing 2 great geniuses. Jiang Taichong stood in front of Lu Ming and Wang Yan rushed up from behind. Lu Ming had nowhere to run. However, at this moment, Lu Ming's expression was extremely calm. In fact, there was even a flash of killing intent. Something's wrong. For some reason, Jiang Taichong's heart suddenly jumped. He had an inexplicable sense of crisis, but he could not figure out where the sense of crisis came from. Lu Ming? Impossible. Lu Ming's cultivation level was not their match at all. Wang Yan was already closing in. At this moment, Lu Ming took a heavy step forward. Dense inscriptions appeared on the ground and a few large arrays appeared. You want to deal with us by instantly setting up a formation? Dream on. Wang Yan laughed coldly, but in the next moment, his expression changed drastically. No, this is a level 7 formation technique. How could you inscribe a level 7 formation technique in an instant? Wang Yan cried out in disbelief. An ordinary rank 7 alchemist could not inscribe a rank 7 formation in an instant. Only a rank 7 alchemist with profound spiritual power could do it. How could Lu Ming do it? Not good. Retreat. Jiang Taichong's expression changed drastically, and he was about to retreat. However, it was already too late. The formation glowed, and golden vines condensed and wrapped around Jiang Taichong and Wang Yan. Break! An extremely sharp aura emanated from Jiang Taichong's body. With a wave of his hand, sharp sword qi burst out and cut at the vines. However, he was only able to cut off a few vines. These vines were called golden vines and were formed by a level 7 primary formation technique. They were extremely tough and were impervious to fire and water. Wang Yan roared in anger as flames spread out in an attempt to incinerate the vines. Although he could do so, the speed was extremely slow. The two of them were entangled for a while. Lu Ming sneered and continued to inscribe the array. Countless inscriptions glowed on his feet and palms. Purple mental energy fire danced between his eyebrows. A 7th rank alchemist. He's a 7th rank alchemist. He has to get out. Jiang Taichung roared in horror and attacked with all his might. The vines were cut off one by one. A few golden vines array could not completely trap Wang Yan and Jiang Taichung, but Lu Ming's purpose was to stop them for a while, and that was enough. Buzz! On the ground, another formation appeared. This time, it was a level 7 intermediate array, the frost hunting array. Formations were generally divided into elementary, intermediate, advanced, and peak. For example, a level 7 primary array was sufficient to deal with martial artists of the 1st to 3rd level of the spirit embryo realm. If used well, it could kill a 3rd level spirit embryo realm martial artist. However, although Wang Yan and Jiang Taichung were only at the 1st level of the spirit embryo realm, their combat strength was enough to kill a 4th level spirit embryo realm cultivator. An elementary level 7 formation technique was not of much use to them. However, it was a different story for a grade 7 intermediate formation. A middle grade level 7 formation technique was able to deal with experts at the 4th to 6th level of the spirit embryo realm. However, although Lu Ming's mental energy was extremely dense and far exceeded that of an inscriber of the same level, he had just broken through to level 7. It was still impossible for him to inscribe a level 7 intermediate array in an instant. He would need some time. The time that the golden vine array had blocked Wang Yan and Jiang Taichung was enough for him to inscribe a level 7 middle array. Whoosh! Whoosh! Tulavir long spears made of ice appeared, exuding an extremely cold aura. They pierced through the air and headed toward Wang Yan and Jiang Taichung respectively. A layer of white frost appeared on his body, and he trembled all over as if he was about to be frozen. Whoosh! Whoosh! To their despair, more ice spears were formed. This time, there were 24 of them. Each of them had 12 roots, and they went for the kill. The two of them tried their best to block, but the power of the ice spears was too terrifying. Although they managed to block it, they were both injured. But then, more ice spears appeared. Ah! Ah! Following that, two desperate screams rang out. Wang Yan and Jiang Taichung's bodies were pierced by a few ice spears respectively. Their bodies stiffened as they were frozen to the spot. No, don't kill me! Wang Yan cried out in fear. Although the Battle of Providence was dangerous, it was full of opportunities. No one had participated in the Battle of Providence, as they were all here to die. They all wanted to obtain great opportunities and boundless providence. Wang Yan and Jiang Taichung were naturally the same. They wanted to obtain a great opportunity in the Battle of Providence, obtain great providence, stand out from it, and surpass those stronger geniuses. How could they have thought that they were going to die less than a month after the Battle of Providence had started? How could they be willing? Wang Yan, have you forgotten what I said? I said I will kill you. Lu Ming's cold voice was heard. With a wave of his hand, the ice spear appeared and he struck again. No, no! Wang Yan and Jiang Taichung screamed in fear and madness, but they could not change the outcome. The ice spear pierced through the foreheads of the two. Then, the bloodline of the 9 dragons appeared. The devouring power burst out and devoured the two. It didn't take long for the refinement to be completed. Jiang Taichung cultivated the sword concept, which was not of much use to Lu Ming. When the time came, Wang Yan's fire concept would allow Lu Ming's fire concept to break through and step into level 3. However, Lu Ming's blood meridian did not improve. The prison-suppressing steel's bloodline was at divine level 3, while the 9 dragons' bloodline was at divine level 4. Whew! After refining it, Lu Ming heaved a sigh of relief and stood up. The Book of Destiny appeared before his eyes. He noticed that the Book of Destiny's destiny had increased by 2,000 points. This was because after killing Wang Yan and Jiang Taichung, their own luck value had been taken away by Lu Ming. Now, Lu Ming's luck value was close to 5,000. Then he looked at the stone door. He had to break this stone door. Lu Ming began to inscribe the array in front of the stone door. This time, he spent half a day to inscribe a level 7 advanced array. Lu Ming could instantly cast a beginner level 7 array. However, if he was given enough time, he could even set up a top-notch level 7 array. The formation glowed, forming a giant hammer that smashed toward the stone door. The hammer condensed by a level 7 advanced array was many times stronger than Lu Ming's attack. Boom! The stone door shook violently as if it was about to be broken. Continue! One by one, the giant hammers formed and smashed against the door. Boom! Boom! The rumbling sounds were endless. After more than a dozen attacks, the door was broken open with a bang, revealing a dark passage. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He waved his hand and a puppet walked in first. Seeing that there was no danger, Lu Ming also stepped in. After the passage, there was a huge underground secret room. Encountering the little demon lord. This seemed to be a cave abode of an expert. There were tables, chairs, beds, and even a few bookshelves in the underground secret room. Lu Ming walked around and realized that there were only some books on the bookshelf. Lu Ming walked over and took a look at the books. The sky-leaping battle technique was a cultivation technique. Lu Ming opened it and his eyes widened. He was overjoyed. It was a deity-level cultivation technique, a low-grade deity-level cultivation technique. How precious was a god-grade cultivation technique? For example, the core cultivation technique of the 6 great ancient aristocratic families of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace was a low-grade deity-level cultivation technique. A divine-level cultivation technique could almost support an ancient family. Lu Ming had the true war dragon technique and did not need to cultivate other cultivation techniques. It was unknown whether the true war dragon technique that Lu Ming cultivated was low-grade or high-grade divine level, but the cultivation requirements were extremely harsh. Others could not cultivate it at all. Lu Ming had 2 disciples, family and friends, but they could not cultivate the true war dragon technique at all. However, he could pass on other divine-level cultivation techniques to them. Lu Ming was overjoyed as he kept it. Then, he looked at the other books. There were more than a dozen books in total. Among them, there were 2 divine-level cultivation techniques, and the others were martial arts techniques, demigod-level martial arts techniques. There were both low-grade and high-grade demigod martial techniques. This was an unimaginable wealth. Lu Ming kept all of them in ecstasy and continued to walk around. He realized that the underground secret chamber was empty. There was nothing else. Lu Ming left the underground secret chamber reluctantly. He then chose a random direction and soared into the sky. Buzz! Not long after Lu Ming left, a figure with monstrous demonic chi descended on the Double Moon Mountain. It was little demon Lord Luo Li. The formation here has been broken. Someone has been here. I'm not afraid of you, Luo Li mumbled as a cold glint flashed in his eyes. He stepped into the underground chamber and reappeared outside. As expected, someone has taken the first step. Damn it! Luo Li growled and leaped into the air. The direction he chose was the direction that Lu Ming had left in. As Lu Ming flew, the muscles and bones on his body squirmed. After a while, his body shape and appearance changed greatly. Then, the inscriptions on his body glowed and he set up an array to conceal his aura. Not a single bit of aura leaked out from his body. Now, the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace and the Heavenly Demon Valley both wanted to kill him. It would be more convenient for him to act by changing his identity temporarily. Moreover, Lu Ming was not a match for the top talents on the list of top 1,000 talents for the time being. When he improved his cultivation, he would not need to be afraid of them anymore. Lu Ming flew at a slow speed. He mainly wanted to see if there were any spiritual herbs and pick them. Boom! 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 A terrifying sonic boom suddenly came from behind him, and a vast demonic might permeated the air. Stop! Immediately, a loud shout was heard. Lu Ming frowned. He stopped and turned to look. Luo Li appeared not far from Lu Ming with his vast demonic power. Kid, which direction did you come from? Ro Li pointed at the direction behind him. Not bad. Lu Ming frowned. Have you ever been to the Double Moon Mountain? Ro Li asked. Double Moon Mountain? What Double Moon Mountain? Lu Ming played dumb. Luo Li frowned slightly. He could tell that Lu Ming's cultivation was only at the 9th level of the spiritual ocean realm. There was no way he could break the array of Double Moon Mountain. The treasures of Double Moon Mountain should not belong to Lu Ming. You've never been to the Double Moon Mountain? Did you see anyone pass by? Ro Li asked. No, I've been looking for spirit herbs in this area and didn't see anyone else. Lu Ming said. Okay, then you can go. Ro Li waved his hand. Lu Ming nodded and was about to leave when Luo Li's eyes flashed with killing intent. With a wave of his hand, a saber light slashed at Lu Ming. Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming burst out with dragon power. He turned around and threw a punch, which collided with the saber light. His body trembled and he retreated rapidly. What are you doing? Lu Ming shouted. Humph! Restrain your aura and be sneaky. Kill them first. Ro Li snorted coldly, but a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. Although he had casually struck out with that move, almost no one under the spirit embryo realm could block it. He did not expect that Lu Ming would be able to block it. Lu Ming's combat strength surprised him. A cold glint flashed across Lu Ming's eyes. These people were really overbearing. They were just suspicious and wanted to kill him. Fortunately, he was prepared. He sensed it the moment Luo Li made his move. Whoosh! Ro Li's demonic chi rolled and he swung his palm again. A black blade light was sent flying at Lu Ming. A purple flame flashed between his brows. Lu Ming waved his hands and an array appeared in the air. It formed golden vines that wrapped around Luo Li. Carving an array in the air? You're a level 7 alchemist. It seems that you've obtained the treasure of Double Moon Mountain. Die! Ro Li's killing intent surged as he roared and his blade flashed. Bang! Bang! The sturdy golden vine exploded in an instant, unable to withstand Ro Li's attack. Lu Ming took a few steps forward and waved his hands. One after another, large arrays appeared. They were all beginner level 7 arrays. However, Ro Li was too strong. With a slash of his saber, everything was destroyed, and all the formations were shattered. Peak of the 3rd level spirit embryo realm. Lu Ming's pupils constricted. Little Demon Lord Luo Li's cultivation was at the peak of the 3rd level of the spirit embryo realm, but with his combat power, even if he was 3 levels higher, it would not be difficult for him to kill an ordinary 6th level spirit embryo realm ancient martial art practitioner. He was simply too strong. And this was still in the spirit embryo realm. If he was in the spiritual ocean tier, it would be easy for him to kill enemies who were 4 levels above him. A grade 7 primary formation posed no threat to Luo Li. Kill! The pitch-black demonic blade exuded a terrifying aura. The formation was shattered, and Lu Ming was swept by a blade gleam. The scales on his skin were shattered, and one of his arms was almost chopped off. Bang! On Lu Ming's body, the array that had concealed his aura collapsed and his original aura was revealed. You are Lu Ming? Haha, my luck is not bad. If I kill you, the supreme leader of the Wang clan will reward me handsomely. Luo Li laughed as his demonic might surged. A terrifying saber radiance cut through everything, shattering the formation in front of him. The terrifying saber radiance then slashed toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming waved his hands and 2 puppets rushed out. They were easily cut in half by the saber radiance. Lu Ming, you're out of luck to have run into me. You'll die today. Ro Li laughed. However, Lu Ming waved his hands and more than 10 puppets appeared, charging at Luo Li. They were all at 1st and 2nd rank of 7th level. Behind the dozen or so puppets were 9 puppets that looked like white birds. They followed the puppets in front of them and charged at Ro Li. The remaining 9 puppets were all at 4th grade 7th level. This was the highest grade puppet that Lu Ming had bought from the treasure pavilion. He could not control it if he had not broken through to become a 7th rank alchemist. Ro Li slashed with his demonic blade, and the puppets in front of him were cut into pieces. However, at this moment, the strongest puppet had arrived. Explode! Lu Ming spat out a word softly. Perfect spiritual ocean tear. As Lu Ming uttered the word explode, the 9 4th grade 7th level puppets glowed and exploded. The puppet self-destructed. The 9 4th grade 7th level puppet self-destructed, creating a terrifying energy storm that surged toward Luo Li. Lu Ming turned around and used the 9 dragons' heaven treading steps to leave the place. Boom! 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 Ro Li's furious roar came from the violent energy, and after a few breaths, he charged out. At this moment, he was in an extremely sorry state. His clothes were in tatters, and there were many wounds on his body that were bleeding profusely. His face was pitch black as if it had been burnt. He swept his gaze around, but there was no trace of Lu Ming. Ah, Lu Ming, I'll kill you! A furious roar came from Ro Li's mouth. Luo Li's killing intent towards Lu Ming was extremely strong. Lu Ming used the 9 dragons' heaven stomping steps and advanced at top speed. The self-destruction of the 9 4th grade 7th level puppets was powerful, but Lu Ming knew that it would not do much to Luo Li. It's still not enough to rely on the Tao of Inscription. Lu Ming furrowed his eyebrows tightly. His Tao of Inscription was already very strong, and he could instantly cast a level 7 primary array. If coordinated well, even an ordinary 4th level spirit embryo realm ancient martial art practitioner would be killed by him. He had only just broken through to become a level 7 alchemist, and that was already terrifying enough. However, Ro Li was no ordinary warrior. He was a prodigy among prodigies. My martial cultivation has to break through to the spirit embryo realm as soon as possible. Only then will I have the confidence to fight against prodigies like Luo Li. The breakthrough to the spirit embryo realm was imperative. With Lu Ming's current combat strength, it was a piece of cake for him to deal with ordinary heaven's favorites or even most of the god-level heaven's favorites. However, the top 100 on the list of top 1,000 talents, and even those who were ranked higher, were all monstrous geniuses. They were too strong for him. After flying for 100,000 miles, Lu Ming landed and circulated his cultivation for a while. The injury on his arm was completely healed. Then, Lu Ming took a look at his luck value. It had exceeded 10,000 and reached 10,800. He had obtained the secret manuals from the Double Moon Mountain, and his luck value had increased by more than 5,000. I've finished exploring the strange land within a radius of 100,000 li. I need to go further to explore. Lu Ming pondered and chose the west. He flew toward the west. What? After flying for a while, Lu Ming's gaze suddenly stopped. A group of figures appeared in front of him. The three-eyed god race had a total of 100 or so people, and they were flying through the sky at high speed. At this moment, the three-eyed god also saw Lu Ming. It's those human youths. Kill them. Kill them. The moment the three-eyed gods caught sight of Lu Ming, they roared and charged at him. The strongest seems to be at the 4th level of spirit embryo realm. Then, all of you will become my nourishment? Lu Ming's eyes flickered with cold killing intent. He took a few steps forward, and the inscriptions continued to seep into the void. Buzz! Buzz! The three-eyed god was extremely fast. In just a few breaths, he was already close to Lu Ming. Lu Ming took a heavy step in the void. Runes glowed and an array appeared. It condensed into sword beams and slashed forward. This was a level 7 array formation, and it was extremely powerful. Those three-eyed gods below the spirit embryo realm were instantly sliced in half, killed on the spot. Roar! The bloodline of the 9 dragons appeared. With a roar, devouring power erupted. The blood essence, intent runes, and energy of the three-eyed elder god that had been killed were all devoured by Lu Ming. Even those who survived were greatly weakened by the devouring power of the 9 dragons' bloodline. Lu Ming continued to inscribe arrays and launched a storm of attacks. Some of the 1st and 2nd level spirit embryo realm three-eyed gods found it difficult to resist and were killed under the storm of attacks. Retreat! Retreat! The leader was a 4th level spirit embryo realm three-eyed god. He had a burly body and a powerful aura, but he was currently filled with fear as he shouted in shock. Whoosh! Whoosh! Sword light flashed, and one by one, the three-eyed god race was killed. Bang! In the end, only the fourth-level spirit embryo realm three-eyed god managed to charge out of the array's range. He frantically fled into the distance, disappearing into the horizon. The other three-eyed gods were all killed by Lu Ming. What a pity! Lu Ming muttered. If he had directed all of his attacks at the fourth-level spirit embryo realm three-eyed god, it would have been enough to kill him. However, the attacks were too scattered, so he had escaped. Lu Ming kept all the storage rings and controlled his 9-dragon bloodline to devour the 100 three-eyed gods and turn them into mummies before leaving the place. 10,000 miles away, Lu Ming dug out a cave in a large mountain. He carved an array at the entrance of the cave and sat cross-legged in the cave, beginning the refinement. Although most of the 100 three-eyed gods were at the 9th level of the spiritual ocean realm and had perfected the spiritual ocean realm, their energy was still shocking. Lu Ming continued to refine them. Lu Ming's focus was on the concept. He would get rid of the intent he didn't need and refine the intent he needed. Among them, the fire concept was the most abundant, and there was also the thunder and wind concepts. There weren't many earth concepts, but there were a few. There was even a three-eyed god at the 2nd level of the spirit embryo realm who had comprehended the earth concept. At the spirit embryo realm, one's intent would definitely be at the 3rd level. This allowed Lu Ming's earth concept to break through to the full circle of level 2. As his earth concept broke through to the perfected stage of level 2, the massive amount of energy was constantly being converted into Lu Ming's cultivation. Not long after, Lu Ming's aura skyrocketed and he broke through to the perfected spirit sea realm. Buzz! Then, the bloodline of the prison-suppressing steel emerged, exuding an ancient and heavy aura. The 3 golden chakras glowed, and the next moment, the 4th chakra emerged. The prison-suppressing steel's bloodline had also advanced to the 4th level of the divine level. 2 hours later, Lu Ming had refined all the energy. The wind and fire concepts had improved the most, and they were approaching the lower tier of level 3. His thunder concept had also broken through to level 3. Only the earth concept was still at the great circle of level 2. His cultivation had also reached the peak of the perfected spirit ocean realm, and he was only 1 step away from the spirit embryo realm. This time he had gained a lot. Moreover, his luck value had also increased by a few thousand. Killing these three-eyed god race beings really is worth it. Lu Ming revealed a smile. The 2nd level of the earth essence realm has been completed. Now is the time for the nature fruit to come in handy. Lu Ming pondered. The next moment, a nature fruit appeared in his hand. He swallowed it without hesitation. With a single thought, the nature manifestation fruit entered Lu Ming's body and transformed into a wondrous energy. This energy seemed to follow Lu Ming's thoughts and transformed into an extremely rich earth concept. The nature fruit could transform into anything. It was truly mysterious. Lu Ming cultivated the earth concept with the nature manifestation fruit and made rapid progress. Lu Ming took out another nature fruit after he had finished one. Previously, Lu Ming had obtained a total of 12 nature fruits. 3 days later, after Lu Ming had consumed 7 nature manifestation fruits, his earth concept finally broke through the bottleneck and reached level 3. At this point, Lu Ming's 4 concepts had all reached level 3. Their power had increased to a terrifying level. Now that more than half a year had passed, although he had made great progress, Lu Ming must have become stronger as well. He was not confident. Moreover, Lu Ming was sitting on the mountain peak openly. He had a bad feeling. Lu Ming is very evil. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure. Besides, he's just sitting there. I'm afraid he's up to something. Let's leave Lu Ming's life to those stronger people. We just have to spread the news," said the chosen of the chaotic clan. The others were silent for a moment before nodding. The energy from the hundreds of three-eyed gods he devoured was too abundant. Lu Ming's energy had not been completely consumed even after he broke through to the first level of spirit embryo realm. His cultivation was still rising rapidly. Another 3 days passed before Lu Ming's aura stabilized. His cultivation had already advanced to the second level of the spirit embryo realm. Great improvement in strength. Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through to the second level of the spirit embryo realm in one go. His strength had skyrocketed and it was much higher than before. Lu Ming felt that his entire body was filled with energy, boundless energy. Roar! Dragon roars reverberated as the 5 golden chakras on the body of the 9-dragon bloodline shone. His 9-dragon bloodline had also been upgraded to the 5th level of the divine level. This was all thanks to the leader of the three-eyed god race, who was at the 7th level of the spirit embryo realm. He was really powerful. Whether it was his blood essence or energy, they were all extremely powerful. Otherwise, Lu Ming would not have been able to have such a huge improvement. And the intent realms of wind, fire, and thunder are all at the peak of the 3rd level entry. I'm just one step away from the 3rd level lower tier. The earth intent realm is also at the late stage of the 3rd level entry. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with excitement. The function of the 9 dragons bloodline was too heaven-defying. It allowed Lu Ming's cultivation base to skyrocket. It was entirely possible for him to cultivate a few more concepts in the future. This time, be it the will or the Zhan Yuan, they have both improved too much. I can already feel that the will and Zhan Yuan are a little messy. I can't devour them for a while. I need to spend some time to stabilize my foundation. Lu Ming pondered secretly. However, Lu Ming did not want to go into seclusion to condense all the time. He wanted to search for treasures and opportunities while slowly building his foundation. After all, 1.5 months had passed since the Battle of Providence. There was less and less time left. Lu Ming ended his closed-door cultivation and flew high into the sky. With a flash of his body and a burst of quintessential essence, Lu Ming's figure was dozens of miles away. His vital essence is too strong. With my current cultivation, I can definitely fight with little demon Lord Luo Li, or even kill him. Lu Ming revealed a confident smile on his face. Compared to the last time he met Luo Li, Lu Ming had improved a lot. All 4 intents had broken through to the 3rd level. With the advancement of the 9-dragon bloodline, he had an additional dragon power. In addition, his cultivation had advanced to the 2nd level of the spirit embryo realm. His combat strength had improved too much. Whoosh! Lu Ming turned into a stream of light and disappeared into the sky. Next, Lu Ming searched for elixirs and precious materials while he built his foundation and stabilized his cultivation. Although Lu Ming's speed was not too fast, he still flew hundreds of thousands of miles. On the way, he met a few people from the three-eyed god race, but he didn't attack them. There were powerful beings among these three-eyed god race beings, and there were quite a few of them who were above the 7th level of the spirit embryo realm. And in the spirit embryo realm, it was undoubtedly more difficult to fight across levels. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, he was confident that he would not be afraid of 7th level spirit embryo realm experts. However, it would be troublesome if he were to be surrounded by many experts of this level. Furthermore, his foundation wasn't stable yet. Even if he killed the three-eyed god race, he wouldn't be able to devour them, so he didn't make a move. On this day, Lu Ming was sitting cross-legged on a large tree, condensing his essential core and polishing his artistic conception. Suddenly, in the distant sky, 2 figures were flying forward at high speed. They were 2 young men, a man and a woman. Inscriptions glowed on their bodies. Xing Cheng flapped his wings and continued flying forward. However, they seemed to be in a panic and were in a sorry state. The Talisman Amulet Sect. Lu Ming's expression changed. This was the first time Lu Ming encountered a Talisman Amulet Sect disciple since he entered. The number of Talisman Amulet Sect members participating in the Battle of Karmic Luck was small to begin with, so the chances of encountering one were naturally small. However, the 2 Talisman Amulet Sect disciples were obviously running away with someone chasing after them. Whoosh! Whoosh! 2 or 4 streaks of light streaked through the air and chased after him. They were 4 young men. From their clothes, They were actually from the Empyrean Heavenly Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect. The two forces had actually joined forces to pursue the Talisman Amulet sect. Hee, you can't run away. Just come with us obediently. A paragon of the Heavenly Corpse sect, who was covered in corpse chi, sneered. This person had a cultivation at the Great Circle of the Spiritual Ocean tier. It had been more than a month and a half since the War of Providence had started. In such an environment, Lu Ming was not the only one making progress. Everyone was making progress as well. Many people's cultivation levels had also improved by leaps and bounds. When they first entered, only Wang Yan and the other top 100 on the list of top 1,000 talents had a cultivation at the perfected spiritual ocean realm. Even Di Feng was only at the peak of the 9th level of the spiritual ocean realm. But now, there were already quite a number of people who had broken through to the perfected spirit sea realm. There were even some who had started to charge towards the spirit embryo realm. And those heaven's favorites who were already above the spirit embryo realm naturally had a breakthrough. Everyone was improving, and if they didn't improve, they would be eliminated. Of the other 3 pursuing youths, one of them had a cultivation base at the perfected spiritual ocean realm, while the other 2 were at the peak 9th level spiritual ocean realm. The 4 of them were extremely fast as they approached the 2 Talisman Amulet sect disciples. Let's go all out with them. The Talisman sect's woman shouted angrily and stopped. More than 10 inscription scrolls appeared in her hand. Mental energy fire filled the air, and the inscription scrolls lit up. Attacks burst out one after another, attacking the 4 people who were chasing after them. Small tricks. A saber light slashed out. It came from a purple-robed young man from the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. The purple-robed young man was another expert at the perfected spirit sea realm. Without a doubt, this man was a god-tier heaven's favorite who had awakened a god-tier bloodline. His combat strength was extremely powerful. As the blade light flashed, the Talisman sect woman's inscription scrolls were all destroyed. In the end, the blade light landed on the woman's body and broke her protective shield. The woman spat out a mouthful of blood and her body drifted back. Junior sister, hi. The Talisman sect man supported the woman, his face filled with worry. Hee, like I said, you can't leave. Just come with us obediently. The young man from the Heavenly Corpse sect stepped forward and sneered. The 4 young men from the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect had already surrounded the 2 Talisman Amulet sect disciples. Don't even think about it. You captured our Talisman Amulet sect's disciples just to help you crack the array in the ruins. That array is extremely mysterious and dangerous. Even if we were to crack it, there's a high chance that we'll die. The treasures we obtain in the end will belong to you. Don't even think about it. The Talisman sect's young woman was extremely unyielding as she rebuked loudly. Do you still not understand? Your Talisman Amulet sect's only purpose in participating in the War of Providence is to help us crack the formations in the ruins. Otherwise, we would have killed you long ago if we saw you. Why would we have kept you alive until now? The purple-robed young man said coldly with an air of superiority. Kong Mingshang, if you want to kill me, then kill me. I'll help you break the formation. After breaking this one, there's still the next one. I'll die sooner or later. Why don't you kill me now? The young woman shouted coldly. Kong Mingshang was a heaven's favorite from the Kong family, one of the 6 great ancient families. He was ranked 198th on the list of top 1,000 talents and was a true god-level heaven's favorite. Do you want to die? It's not that easy. You're pretty good-looking. We can have a good time with you. I'll see if you beg for mercy under my majesty's eyes. The young man from the Heavenly Corpse sect sneered, and a trace of evil fire flashed in his eyes. This made the young woman's face pale. Everyone, I hope I'm not disturbing you. The situation of the Talisman sect's disciples. Tianyin. No, Lu Ming Zongzi. The 2 men from the Talisman sect were pleasantly surprised when they saw Lu Ming. Lu Ming, it's you. The faces of Kong Mingshang and the rest changed when they saw Lu Ming. Back then, Lu Ming's combat strength was already very terrifying at the social gathering. Kong Mingshang and the other 3 could not help but gather together. They looked at Lu Ming with grave expressions. What's wrong? Do you think my Talisman Amulet sect has no one? Lu Ming's expression turned cold. A murderous intent flashed in his eyes. There are 4 of us. Why should we be afraid of him? Moreover, our cultivation and abilities have improved by leaps and bounds during this period of time. We might be able to improve even faster than Lu Ming. If the 4 of us join forces, we'll be able to kill him. A hint of viciousness and greed flashed in Kong Mingxiang's eyes. Killing Lu Ming would earn him a huge reward from the Wang family supreme martial artist. This made him very tempted. When the other 3 heard Kong Mingxiang's words, they were very tempted. Lu Ming was strong in the past, but that did not mean that he would always be strong. During this period of time, they had made great progress. They did not believe that the 4 of them could not kill Lu Ming with their combined strength. Lu Ming looked at Kong Mingxiang with a half-smile and a hint of contempt flashed in his eyes. Attack! Let's attack together and kill him. Kong Mingxiang growled. Being looked at by Lu Ming with such a gaze, Kong Ming still felt very uncomfortable. He was ranked 198th on the list of top 1,000 talents, and yet Lu Ming was looking at him with such contempt. Who was Lu Ming? Kill! The 4 of them roared and attacked at the same time, charging toward Lu Ming. The dazzling saber light and the boundless corpse chi enveloped Lu Ming. Zongzi, be careful! The 2 talisman sect disciples exclaimed in shock. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. He did not move but took a step forward. Countless inscriptions emerged from under Lu Ming's feet. A large array appeared out of thin air. A fierce tiger with blazing flames condensed and roared at the sky. Kong Mingxiang and the other 3 were shocked, and their pupils contracted. He carved an array in the void. He's a level 7 alchemist. This is a level 7 formation. No, spare my life! The 4 of them screamed in fear. However, the next moment, the flaming tiger pounced and tore the 4 of them apart. Naturally, after killing 4 people, Lu Ming's luck value increased a little. The 2 talisman amulet sect disciples were dumbfounded. Zongzi Lu Ming, you've advanced to a rank 7 alchemist. The young woman was overjoyed. All the young prodigies of the talisman amulet sect knew that Lu Ming had lit up 10 spirit lamps in the first 5 levels. After that, Lu Ming entered the observatory and the spirit lamps he lit at the 6th level were definitely not bad. With such a foundation, Lu Ming would definitely be very strong when he broke through to a 7th rank alchemist. Naturally they would be happy. What are your names? Lu Ming nodded and asked. Zongzi, I'm Hai Fei, he's Lu Guang. The young woman said. The 2 of them looked quite intimate, so they should be a couple. I heard you say that the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect are capturing the disciples of our Talisman Amulet sect to help them break the array formation in the ruins. What exactly is going on? Lu Ming asked. It's like this. The Heavenly Corpse sect, the Heavenly Demon Valley, and the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace have discovered a huge ruin. However, the ruins are surrounded by array formations that are extremely powerful. The Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect can't break through the array formations with their half-baked Tao of inscription. Therefore, they have set their sights on the disciples of the Talisman Amulet sect. The 3 parties have joined forces to capture the disciples of the Talisman Amulet sect and help them break the array formation. I heard that some of the disciples of the Talisman Amulet sect have already died while trying to break the array formation. Hai Fei gritted her teeth and said. A sharp glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He was treating the Talisman Amulet sect disciples as tools. Don't tell me that there aren't any experts from our Talisman Amulet sect to fight against them. Lu Ming asked. No, Hai Fei shook her head. The 13 Zongzis aren't here, and the enemy is too strong. Even if someone tries to fight them, they'll die. That's right. I heard that many Heaven's Pride experts from the 3 forces have gathered there. There are even quite a few of them who are ranked in the top 100 on the list of top 1,000 talents. The strongest ones are the Little Demon Lord Luo Li, the Li Fire Sword Li Tiangu, the Blood Sword 7 and the Blood Sword 9 from the Heavenly Corpse sect, and the 2 Heaven's Pride experts from the Heavenly Demon Valley who are no weaker than the Li Fire Sword and the Little Demon Lord. Lu Guang added. Little Demon Lord, is there still Brother Litian? Lu Ming's gaze flickered. Among them, Brother Litian was the highest ranked on the list of top 1,000 talents at 51st place. He was 10 places higher than little demon Lord Luo Li. Of course, it had been more than 4 years since the last update of the list of top 1,000 talents. Brother Li Tian's combat strength might not be stronger than the little demon lords, but he was definitely not to be underestimated. Where are the ruins? Lu Ming asked. Zongzi, do you really want to go? But the other side is so powerful. Hai Fei was a little worried. What's wrong? Are you afraid? If you're scared, tell me the address. I'll go alone. Lu Ming said. In the future, he would take control of the Talisman Amulet sect. In his opinion, these paragons of the Talisman Amulet sect would become the pillars of the sect and his powerful helpers. How could he let them die here? Lu Ming would definitely go and save them. Also, it was time to settle the score with the little demon lord. He had wasted so many puppets. No, I'm not afraid. If Zongzi wants to go, I'll go with him. Lu Guang, what about you? Hai Fei gritted her teeth, then looked at Lu Guang. Since you're going, I'm naturally going too. Lu Guang's determined gaze warmed Hai Fei's heart. Haha, alright, then you guys lead the way. We'll go together. Lu Ming said with a smile. The three of them immediately tore through the void and headed toward the ruins that Hai Fei had mentioned. There was a huge legacy site more than 100,000 miles away from Lu Ming and the rest. This was a group of palaces. They looked very old, and some places were already somewhat dilapidated. In all directions of the palace complex, there were all kinds of killing formations, illusory formations, overlapping each other, making it extremely dangerous. This place was first discovered by the paragons of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect, but they couldn't enter at all. They even lost a lot of people in the formation. In the end, they could only gather the nearby Heaven's Pride experts to crack the array together. In the end, even the Heaven's Pride experts of the Sky Demon Valley joined in. However, they realized that it was too difficult to break these arrays. Even if they could break them, they didn't know how long it would take. Therefore, they began to target the Talisman Amulet sect disciples and captured them everywhere. Outside the ruins, the supreme talents of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, the Heavenly Corpse sect, and the Sky Demon Valley, as well as some suicide soldiers, numbered more than 300 people. They surrounded the dozen Talisman Amulet sect disciples in the middle. Alright, we've rested enough. Let's set off now and continue to crack the array. Little demon Lord Luo Li's eyes glowed with a murderous light as he stared at the Talisman Amulet sect. Don't even think about it. If you want to break it, you can do it yourself. We won't go again. In the past 3 days, 6 of our senior and junior brothers have died in order to break the formation. A crisp sound was heard. It was by Qi Xue, who was also caught by them. Meeting R.O. Li again. Not going? Sure, I'll kill you right now. And you're as beautiful as a fairy. This young master doesn't mind letting you have a good time. The little demonic lord stared at by Qi Xue with his eyes full of evil fire. If not for the fact that there were people from the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, the Heavenly Corpse sect, and the Sky Demon Valley, he would have executed Bai Qi Xue on the spot. Bai Qi Xue's face turned pale when she saw the little demon lord's evil eyes. She did not dare to say anything. You guys go first and break the formation. The little demon lord pointed at 5 of them and said coldly. The 5 people's faces turned ugly and they sighed. He had no choice but to break the formation. If he did, he might still be able to survive. If he didn't, he would be killed. Previously, 2 Talisman Amulet sect disciples had gone against the little demon lord and were brutally killed by him. Who didn't know that the various devil lords of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace were cruel and merciless? As the 5 Talisman Amulet sect disciples walked into the ruins, the 3 parties from the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace were closely watching them. After a while, light began to shine from inside. The disciples of the Talisman Amulet sect had already begun to break the array. But not long after, a scream was heard. What's going on? The little demon lord's voice spread far and wide. A Talisman sect disciple tried to break the formation but was killed by the formation. A disciple of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace came to report. You're really trash. The little demon lord shouted coldly. Bai Qixue and the other disciples of the talisman sect looked miserable. Among the four great powers, the talisman amulet sect was the weakest. Now that the other three powers had joined forces to deal with them, they had no way of resisting. These talisman amulet sect disciples are too weak. I'm afraid it'll be difficult to break the array here. A young man in blood-red clothes and carrying a blood-red sword on his back said coldly from the crowd of the Heavenly Corpse sect. His name was the Seventh Blood Sword, and he was ranked higher than the little demon lord on the list of top 1,000 talents. That's right. If we can catch one of the 13 candidates, the possibility of cracking the seal will increase greatly. One of the Sky Demon Valley's elites said as he licked his lips. I don't know where those guys are. I haven't seen a single one these days. The Seventh Blood Sword said. Not bad. The others nodded in agreement. As for the talisman sect disciples who were killed while breaking the array, they were unconcerned. They even thought that the other party was trash who couldn't even break the array. The few of them were chatting when suddenly, their expressions changed and they looked towards the eastern sky. 3 beams of light flew over. When the light dispersed, 3 figures appeared. They were Lu Ming, Hai Fei, and Lu Guang. Lu Ming, it's you, you piece of trash. The little demon lord Luo Li was the first to speak, his eyes filled with anger. Previously, he had been injured by Lu Ming's puppet. He had wanted to tear Lu Ming's bones apart. He had never expected that Lu Ming would suddenly appear here. Lu Ming, it's him. There are 2 talisman amulet sect disciples with him. Haha, there's actually someone who delivered himself to my door. The others all called out. This was especially so for the supreme talents of the Empyrean Heavenly Divine Palace and the Heavenly Demon Valley. They looked at Lu Ming with burning eyes. There would be a huge reward for killing Lu Ming. Lu Ming, what are you doing here? They want to capture our talisman amulet sect disciples to help them break the formation. Hurry up and leave. Seeing Lu Ming, Bai Qixue cried out, looking anxious. There were too many paragons from the 3 forces here. They were too powerful. No matter how powerful Lu Ming was, he was no match for them. Lu Ming smiled at Bai Qixue and glanced around. A murderous look flashed in his eyes. Buzz! Buzz! In a flash, the supreme talents of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace and the Heavenly Demon Valley moved. They appeared around Lu Ming and vaguely cut off his escape route. Lu Ming, I'll see where you can run to this time. If I don't skin you alive, I'm not called Luo Li. The little demon lord looked at Lu Ming coldly. Didn't you want to break the formation here? I'll help you break it. Lu Ming said as he glanced at the little demon lord. You can break it. The 7th Blood Sword's eyes lit up. Lu Ming stretched out his palm and a ball of purple mental energy fire danced in his palm. A 7th rank alchemist. He exclaimed. More people's eyes lit up. How is it? I'll help you break the array, but I have a condition. Release the other talisman sect disciples. Lu Ming said loudly. Let them go. That's impossible. Lu Ming, what right do you have to negotiate with us? The little demon lord said coldly. Haha, not bad. This Lu Ming is really an idiot. He actually delivered himself to our door. Just in time, we'll take you down. You'll still have to obediently help us break the array. A young man on Lu Ming's right sneered. This young man was called Quan Fei. He was also a peerless heaven's pride of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, ranked 109th on the list of top 1,000 talents. Now, his cultivation had already reached the peak of the first level of the spirit embryo realm. He was extremely powerful. Even though Lu Ming was a 7th rank alchemist, he was not afraid at all. He took large strides forward and closed in on Lu Ming. Obediently surrender and help us break the formation. Quan Fei laughed coldly and strode forward, sending a palm strike at Lu Ming. This palm was extremely powerful. The huge palm force locked onto Lu Ming from all directions. Lu Ming turned his head and looked at him coldly. Get lost. Suddenly, Lu Ming roared and took a step forward. Boom! The earth rumbled and the palm force that flew out collapsed instantly. Then, Lu Ming slapped out. Pa! A slap landed directly on Quan Fei's face. Quan Fei let out a blood-curdling screech and was sent flying a few thousand meters away like a broken sack. He crashed heavily onto the ground and twitched non-stop. CSI. Gasps of shock could be heard as everyone looked at Lu Ming in shock. A single slap had actually sent Quan Fei, who was at the peak of the first level of the spirit embryo realm, flying. How could Lu Ming's combat strength be so strong? Although he had been careless and did not use the blood meridian fusion, Lu Ming's combat strength was still terrifying. How dare you injure the geniuses of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace? I'll cripple you now. The little demonic lord was furious. Demonic chi surged from his body. He took a step forward and rushed toward Lu Ming. He waved his palm in the air, and a terrifying saber light slashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. He was not afraid at all. He immediately burst out with dragon energy. His body was covered in a layer of scales as he threw a punch forward. Boom! The fist radiance and the saber radiance collided, causing a violent boom. Lu Ming and the little demon lord both took 3 steps back. Impossible! The little demon lord roared in disbelief. He had never expected that Lu Ming would be able to force him to retreat with one move. Even though he did not use his full strength in the attack just now. 4th level spirit embryo realm. Lu Ming's heart stirred. The little demon lord Luo Li was stronger than the last time. He had broken through a level and reached the 4th level of the spirit embryo realm, 2 levels higher than Lu Ming. However, even if it was 2 levels higher, so what? Lu Ming was still confident. Around him, Blood Sword 7, Blood Sword 9, and Brotherly Tian, the Leaving Fire Sword, all the elites of the Sky Demon Valley, looked grave. Lu Ming's combat strength had exceeded their imagination. After breaking the array, we'll leave the treasures inside to our own abilities. If we really have to fight, no one will be able to get the treasures in the ruins. Lu Ming said. This time, the scene fell into silence. 7th Sanguine Sword and the others had grave expressions as they pondered. Lu Ming had a faint smile on his lips. This was strength. Only when one was strong could they talk about cooperation. Now, Lu Ming had already displayed his strong strength. If one didn't have the strength, it would be a joke to talk about cooperation with the other party. One would be suppressed by the other party. It's impossible to let the Talisman Amulet sect disciples leave. If we really let them leave, we might not be able to stop you if you play any tricks. Brother Litian said. That's right. I can't let them leave, but I can ask them to break the formation with you. The 7th Blood Sword said. He would let the Talisman Amulet sect disciples follow Lu Ming to break the formation while they guarded the surroundings. This way, Lu Ming would not be able to play any tricks. All right, let's do it this way. Release the Talisman sect disciples and the Talisman sect disciples who are breaking the array. Lu Ming said. Brother Litian and the rest nodded. Then, they had the Talisman Amulet sect disciples walk to Lu Ming's side. Zongzi! Lu Ming Zongzi! The Talisman Amulet sect disciples walked to Lu Ming's side and looked at him gratefully. Lu Ming nodded and looked ahead casually. He said coldly, There's still one more person, why not let him go? Bai Qixue was still in their hands. We can't let this woman go. I can see that you have a special relationship with her. In order to prevent you from playing any tricks, she must be controlled by us. The little demon lord walked to Bai Qixue and said with a cunning smile. There was a cold glint in Lu Ming's eyes. These people were all geniuses. Each of them had deep thoughts and was very meticulous. Of course, they could not trust Lu Ming completely. All right, let's go break the formation now. Lu Ming said and strode into the legacy site. The other Talisman sect disciples followed closely behind him. Let's go, we'll follow him, don't let him play any tricks. The little demon lord said, his eyes flashing with killing intent. He hated Lu Ming to the core. The paragons of the Heavenly Corpse sect in the Sky Demon Valley also nodded. The 3 parties left a few people to keep watch outside. They moved one after another and followed Lu Ming. The little demon lord even took action personally. He clasped Bai Qishue's shoulder with his fingers, not giving her a chance to escape. Lu Ming stopped after a few thousand meters. In front of them was an area densely covered with formations. This area was about 10,000 meters deep, and after crossing this area, they would reach the core of the palace complex. In other words, this 10,000-meter area was densely covered with arrays. Lu Ming took a light step on the ground and rows of inscriptions slithered forward like living snakes. The next moment, a complicated array appeared on the ground in front of him, shining with a colorful light. Lu Ming's gaze was fixed on the arrays, searching for their weaknesses and thinking of ways to crack them. A moment later, he extended a finger and waved it in the air. Inscriptions flew forward and entered the array. Bang! Bang! Immediately, a few formations collapsed, turning into light and dissipating. Brother Litian, the seventh sanguine sword, and the other's eyes lit up. In just a short while, Lu Ming had already cracked several arrays. There was hope for him to crack the array. At the same time, their eyes were filled with solemnness. Lu Ming's refinement path standard was beyond their imagination. Luo Li, keep a close eye on this lady. Lu Ming is well versed in the art of formations. This place is full of formations. We have to be careful to prevent him from playing any tricks. Brother Litian sent a message to Luo Li. Breaking the formation. I know. Don't worry. I'll look after her. Lu Ming won't have a chance. Ro Li nodded. Zongzi, you're so powerful. At the side, the talisman sect's disciples cast Lu Ming looks of admiration. Some of them had already been trying to break the array for several days and knew how difficult it was to break it. In the past few days, many talisman puppet sect disciples had been killed by the array. However, after Lu Ming came, he had only observed for a short while and he had already broken a few large arrays. They knew that Lu Ming's understanding of formations far surpassed theirs. Lu Ming continued to watch. This time, he spent even less time. He waved his fingers and another array collapsed in front of him. Lu Ming realized that the formations that appeared in this world during the Battle of Providence were not particularly advanced, difficult, or beyond their abilities. It was as if he was doing this on purpose to give them a chance to gain experience. Lu Ming was filled with curiosity about the Battle of Providence. He had a feeling that there was a pair of invisible hands behind the scenes that were controlling everything. He shook his head in his heart. These things were not something he could think about now. It was useless even if he thought about it. It was said that the Battle of Providence was taking place in the other continents overseas. To be able to control the endless mainland to participate in the Battle of Providence. What was the use of thinking about such an extraordinary ability? Even a martial royal realm expert would train his sect's geniuses obediently in order to obtain the light from Providence. Don't those martial emperors want to find out the secret behind it? Of course they wanted to, but they just didn't have the ability to. Lu Ming cast aside the distracting thoughts in his mind and continued to crack the array. His speed of breaking the formation was very fast. As he broke the formation, he walked in. In just a day's time, they had advanced 3,000 meters. The little demon lord and the rest followed closely behind Lu Ming. Their eyes were burning with passion. This ruin was filled with so many formations. It must be extraordinary. The treasures inside must be extraordinary. If he could get it, it would be a great opportunity. Moreover, he would probably have a lot of luck value. They all revealed looks of anticipation. However, after that, Lu Ming's speed of breaking the array slowed down. The deeper he went, the more complicated the array was and the harder it was to crack. It took them 2 days to advance another 3,000 meters. He was still 4,000 meters away from the palace. Lu Ming spent a total of 5 days on the last 4,000 meters. In total, Lu Ming had been breaking the array for 8 days. At this time, they were only about 100 meters away from the palace. But here they stopped. In front of him, the formation glowed. There were flames, ice, lightning, poison gas, and so on that flickered continuously, blocking his line of sight. He couldn't see what was ahead at all. Lu Ming had been standing there for 3 hours. Lu Ming, what are you doing? Why aren't you breaking the formation? The little demon lord berated. I can't break the formation here. Lu Ming shook his head. You can't break it. The little demon lord and the others were stunned. Lu Ming, you'd better think of a way to crack it. Otherwise, none of you from the Talisman Amulet sect will be able to leave this place. You'll all die here. The little demon lord said coldly. Idiot. Lu Ming looked at the little demon lord and suddenly berated him. You. What did you just say? You bastard, what did you say? The little demon lord roared. Lu Ming actually called him an idiot? He was furious. What are you if not an idiot? I said I can't break it, but that doesn't mean we can't go in. In the Tao of formations, where there is death, there is life. As long as you find a way out, there is no need to break it, you can go straight. You don't even know this common sense, if you're not an idiot, what are you? Lu Ming sneered. You. The little demon lord's face turned red and he almost vomited blood. If not for the fact that he needed Lu Ming now, he would have killed him with one palm. Bastard, just you wait. Once we enter the palace, I'll kill all of these symbol puppet sect disciples and enjoy this woman in front of you. The little demon lord roared in his heart, his eyes extremely cold. Lu Ming, you've been watching for so long. Have you found a way out? Brother Litian asked. Over there. Lu Ming pointed forward. Brother Litian's expression changed. Lu Ming, are you kidding me? Brother Litian said with a dark expression. The direction that Lu Ming was pointing at was a sea of fire. The terrifying flames were burning. One look at it and it was terrifying. That's the way out. If you don't believe me, you can send someone first. You'll know once you try. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Humph, do you think we're stupid? Let your Talisman Amulet sect go first. The little demon lord shouted coldly. Not bad. Let your Talisman Amulet sect go first. The seventh Sanguine Sword also said coldly. Lu Ming's expression turned ugly. You guys go first. Lu Ming said to the Talisman Amulet sect disciples. The Talisman sect's disciples looked at each other and saw the flames in front of them. Their eyes were filled with fear. Let's go, Zhongzi won't harm us. Hai Fei took the lead and walked forward, followed by Lu Guang. The rest of the Talisman Amulet sect's disciples followed behind and stepped into the sea of fire. The moment they stepped into the sea of fire distorted and the figures of the Talisman Amulet sect's disciples disappeared. It's really a way out. Hurry up and follow them. Don't let those Talisman Amulet sect disciples escape. The little demon lord hurriedly ordered. A few geniuses of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace led more than 10 men of sacrifice and rushed into the sea of fire. However, as soon as they rushed into the sea of fire, they let out shrill screams and were burned to ashes in the blink of an eye. The power of that flame was incomparably terrifying. What's going on? Damn it, Lu Ming, you're cheating. You're looking for death. The little demon lord immediately roared. Brother Litian, the seventh Sanguine Sword, and the others also exuded a terrifying killing intent that enveloped Lu Ming. What do you mean I cheated? You're just too impatient. The formations here are overlapping and constantly changing. The path of survival is also constantly changing. It was a path of survival just now, but now it's a path of death. It's normal. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Why didn't you say so earlier? The little demon lord roared. You didn't ask me. Why should I say it? And didn't I ask your people to go first? I was planning to send a batch of your people in first, and after the path of survival changes, find another path of survival, and then send another batch in. You were the one who insisted on letting the Talisman Amulet sect's disciples leave first. Then, before I could even say anything, your people rushed forward. Who can you blame? Lu Ming pursed his lips and looked at the little demon lord in disdain. The little demon lord trembled with anger. All right, Lu Ming, can you find a new way to survive? Brother Li Tian frowned. At the same time, they paid more attention to Bai Qixue. Now, the Talisman sect only had Bai Qixue in their hands. Lu Ming continued to watch. A moment later, he pointed at a place full of lightning and said, That's the way out. Let's set off from there. You guys go first. The little demon lord pointed at a few men of sacrifice. If you want to leave, then leave a little more, don't leave in groups. The more this formation operates, the more changes it will have. After a while, even I won't be able to break it. Lu Ming said. Toying with the paragons. All of you come with us. Don't worry with us here, he won't dare to play any tricks. The young demonic lord pointed at some of the paragons. The seventh blood sword, the paragons of the heavenly demon valley, and the others had also arranged for a group of people to rush in according to the path Lu Ming had pointed. Sure enough, as soon as those people rushed into the lightning area, their figures flickered and they disappeared one after another. Only then did Brother Litian and the others look a little better. After that, Lu Ming continued to watch and look for a way out. After a while, Lu Ming pointed to an area covered with ice and said, "Let's go through this road." However, the little demonic lord, Brother Litian, and the seventh sanguine sword did not move. These most powerful geniuses did not trust Lu Ming. If what Lu Ming said was false, wouldn't they die an unjust death if they went in? Although they had Bai Qixue with them, they had to be very careful when it came to their own lives. I think it would be best if we go in together. The little demon lord looked at Lu Ming and pushed Bai Qixue forward slowly. Brother Litian and the rest nodded. That was for the best. If there was a trap, Lu Ming and Bai Qixue would be in danger. That's for the best. You and Qi Shui go first. I'll walk in the middle. You guys can rest assured this way. Lu Ming took a few steps to the side, seemingly wanting to make way. Good. Lu Ming, you'd better not play any tricks. Otherwise, both of you will lose your lives. The little demon lord said coldly. He held Bai Qixue's shoulder and walked forward. Lu Ming stood there without moving. The little demon lord was relieved and walked toward the ice area. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this moment, the ground glowed, and a formation appeared out of nowhere. A few sharp sword chi stabbed toward the little demon lord's forehead, fast as lightning. The little demon lord's heart had just relaxed when he didn't expect such a move. Subconsciously, he let go and retreated to protect himself. Buzz! At this moment, Lu Ming moved. His body was like a stream of light as he rushed toward the little demon lord. A terrifying fist force bombarded the little demon lord like a storm. Lu Ming! The little demonic lord roared angrily and slashed out with his palm. Bang! The little demonic lord's figure retreated repeatedly. Damn it, block the exit! Brother Litian, Blood Sword 7, Blood Sword 9, and the elites of the Sky Demon Valley all roared in anger. One of the elites of the Sky Demon Valley was the fastest and was the closest to the ice region. His figure flashed and he appeared at the entrance of the ice region to prevent Lu Ming from entering. The rest of the people made their moves and charged toward Lu Ming. Brother Litian, Blood Sword 7, Blood Sword 9, and the Sky Demon Valley's demon race prodigy were all at the 4th level of the spirit embryo realm. Especially Brother Litian and the 7th sanguine sword, who had reached the peak of the 4th level of the spirit embryo realm. With all of them joining forces, their power was terrifying, as if they were going to crush Lu Ming. At this moment, Lu Ming did not hesitate to release 5 bursts of dragon power. His body was filled with power. Qi Shui, go to the poisonous area. Lu Ming pulled Bai Qixue and pushed her into the poisonous zone. In front of the toxic area, no one stopped him. Lu Ming was lying when he said that the icy area was the way out. In fact, the poisonous area was the way out. His purpose was to distract the other party's attention. Bai Qixue's figure disappeared into the poisonous zone. Nobody could stop her. Damn it! Brother Litian and the others knew that they had been tricked. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming took a few steps forward and a formation appeared. He then punched out with both fists, sending out terrifying fist forces. He used his formation and martial arts to block the many heaven's favorites. Lu Ming, you won't be able to leave today. So what if you've saved the people of the Talisman sect? You have to stay too. Brother Litian's eyes were cold. A flaming sword appeared in his hand, and it was emitting a shocking heat. This was Li Fire, an extremely terrifying flame, not inferior to the Wang family's purple extreme heavenly fire. At the same time, Blood Sword 7 and Blood Sword 9's bodies glowed with a blood-red light. The blood-red sword light exuded a strong bloody aura, cutting through the void and slashing at Lu Ming. One of the Sky Demon Valley's elites transformed into a fierce tiger. His claws were like heavenly blades, cutting through the space and clawing at him. At the same time, the attacks of the Little Demon Lord and a green-robed genius of the heavenly monster tribe arrived. When the 6 paragons joined forces, their power was shocking. The 6 of them attacked Lu Ming from different directions. Lu Ming did not take it head-on. Instead, he rushed in the direction of Blood Sword 9, who seemed to be the weakest. Boom! The punch landed on the blood-colored sword radiance. Blood Sword 9's body trembled violently and he continued to retreat. Lu Ming strode forward and dodged the attacks of the various geniuses. He ran towards the lightning zone at top speed. Not good. The lightning zone is the way out. He wants to go in. Stop him. Li Tianhe roared. Roar! The tiger roared and pounced on Lu Ming at top speed. However, Lu Ming's body paused and he retreated abruptly, avoiding the tiger's attack and dodging to the other side. Stay here! The little demonic lord shouted angrily, and the black saber light slashed at Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming's body paused again. Like a slippery loach, he dodged the little demonic lord's attack in a flash and dodged to the other side. His body was extremely agile, charging left and right, not fighting them head-on at all. In addition, they had to guard against the escape route and the array in front of them to prevent Lu Ming from breaking out of the encirclement. They were distracted and could not do anything to Lu Ming. Damn it! The 6 heavens favorites were so angry that they wanted to vomit blood. As for the others, they could not stop Lu Ming at all. Once Lu Ming crashed into them, their bones were broken and their tendons snapped, sending them flying far away. Buzz! Lu Ming's figure flashed again and he rushed to the flame area. They thought that the flame area was the way out and hurriedly stopped him. However, Lu Ming's figure suddenly turned and he rushed toward the poisonous area. This time, Lu Ming shook them off and stepped into the poisonous zone. In a flash, his figure disappeared. This is the way out, charge in! The green-robed young man from the Sky Demon Valley was the fastest. He followed closely behind Lu Ming and rushed into the poisonous zone. However, as soon as he rushed into the poisonous area, he immediately let out a blood-curdling scream and turned into a green divine eagle. He only managed to rush out after using all his strength, but his entire body was green. He had already been poisoned. If not for his profound cultivation and powerful combat strength, he would have died inside. It was obvious that Lu Ming had been walking in circles with them just now to calculate the time. He had calculated the time well, and just as the time for the poisonous zone to become a path of survival was about to run out, Lu Ming rushed in. When the green-robed young man followed him in, the path of life had changed into a path of death. Lu Ming had already calculated all of this. Ah! Damn you, Lu Ming! Bastard beast, I'll kill you! The little demon lord let out an angry roar. Test precious treasure. The rest of the people had ugly expressions on their faces as well. So many people had witnessed it, but in the end, Lu Ming had saved all the Talisman sect disciples. They could not even stop Lu Ming himself. If word of this got out, they would be embarrassed. Since the paths of life and death here are constantly changing, let's try them one by one. There are only 9 regions in total anyway. Brother Litian said coldly. Yes, that's the only way. You go to the flame area, you go to the ice area. Immediately, Blood Sword 17 began to give orders to the men of sacrifice. The 9 regions were constantly changing. That was easy to handle. As long as 9 men of sacrifice stepped into the 9 regions at the same time, they would naturally know which region was the path of survival. The 9 men of sacrifice stepped into the 9 regions at the same time without hesitation. 8 of them died immediately, leaving only 1 man alive in the black fog. He disappeared in a flash. There's a way out, charge. The little demonic lord and the others all rushed into the black mist and disappeared. After Lu Ming stepped into the poisonous zone, he appeared in front of a palace in the next moment. There was no one in sight. The talisman sect's disciples who had entered earlier, as well as the disciples from the other factions, did not see them either. It seems that the formation was randomly teleported to any corner of the palace. Lu Ming pondered. I hope that Qi Shui and the others don't run into the little demon lord and the others. Lu Ming knew very well that the array would not be able to stop the little demon lord and the rest. He only needed to send 9 people to try. Lu Ming immediately sized up his surroundings. There were palaces everywhere, and between the palaces, there were some small alleys. Following that, Lu Ming walked into the palace in front of him. There was nothing in the palace. It was empty. Shaking his head, Lu Ming walked along a small alley toward the other palaces. However, after walking for a while, he frowned. He realized that he had stepped into an array. This formation was like a maze, because after walking in his alley for a while, he returned to the original place. There was also a formation in the palace. Lu Ming was not shocked. Instead, he was happy. It was good to have an array formation. It was an advantage for the talisman sect's disciples. Even if they encountered the little demonic lord and the others, they might have a chance to escape. Lu Ming immediately observed his surroundings carefully. After a while, Lu Ming's lips curled into a faint smile. He took mysterious steps and walked forward. Half an hour later, he had walked out of the maze. In front of him, a huge palace appeared. The palace gate was tightly shut. Lu Ming went forward and pushed the door open. He walked in. The palace was empty, but there was a stone door in the innermost part. Lu Ming walked towards the stone door. Whoosh! Whoosh! All of a sudden sharp air-piercing sounds were heard from both sides. 2 rays of saber light were slashing toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's figure moved and dodged backward, avoiding the 2 saber lights. However, the 2 saber lights continued to slash at Lu Ming. A puppet! At this moment, Lu Ming realized that it was 2 puppets that were attacking him. The 2 puppets were in human form. Their bodies had a metallic luster and their eyes were golden. They were filled with a cold and emotionless aura. Each of them held a big knife in their hands and they slashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming activated the prison-suppressing heaven technique. 4 types of concepts swirled around his palms as he struck out twice. Clang! Clang! With 2 loud bangs, the 2 puppets were forced to retreat by Lu Ming. It's equivalent to the peak of the 3rd-level spirit embryo realm. Lu Ming's heart stirred. The 2 puppets were pushed back by Lu Ming. They stomped their feet and charged at Lu Ming again. Buzz! Lu Ming dodged and struck out 2 more palms. The 2 palms directly hit the 2 puppets, and the 2 puppets were smashed into pieces. Lu Ming strode forward and walked towards the stone door. No puppet came out to stop him. Lu Ming pushed the stone door open. There was a stone room in front of him. There was another stone door in front of the stone room. However, as soon as Lu Ming stepped into the stone chamber, 2 more puppets appeared and charged at him. This time, the strength of the 2 puppets had reached the 4th level of the spirit embryo realm. It was still easily dealt with by Lu Ming. Lu Ming stepped forward and pushed the stone door open. Behind the stone door was another stone room, and in front of the stone room was another stone door. This time, a total of 9 4th-level spirit embryo realm puppets appeared. What's in front of us? These trials are like tests. I'd like to go and take a look. Lu Ming's mind raced as he launched an attack. In a short while, the 9 puppets were scattered by him. Sure enough, there were stone rooms below, and there were puppets in each room, and they were getting stronger and stronger. When Lu Ming reached the 9th stone chamber, the puppet that appeared had already reached the 6th level of the spirit embryo realm. However, they could not stop Lu Ming and they were defeated by him one by one. After the 9th stone chamber, there were no more stone chambers. Instead, there was a passage. On both sides of the passage, there were metal puppets standing motionless with sabers in their hands. Nest, also, what level of strength do the puppets here have? They can't all be at the 7th level spirit embryo realm, right? Lu Ming was somewhat speechless. He slowly walked forward. Gotcha! All of a sudden, one of the puppets moved. Its cold metallic eyes glared at Lu Ming. Bang! He took a step forward, the saber in his hand exuding a sharp light, and slashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming burst out with 5 streams of dragon energy and threw a punch at the puppet. Bang! With a dull thud, the puppet and Lu Ming were forced to take 6 or 7 steps back. Whoa, this is definitely a puppet at the peak of the 7th level spirit embryo realm. What powerful strength! Lu Ming was secretly shocked. You're pretty strong to be able to force me back. At this moment, the puppet suddenly spoke. However, its voice was cold and emotionless. What's inside? Lu Ming asked. There's a precious treasure inside. There will be tests along the way. Our strength will be adjusted according to the strength of the people who enter. The stronger the cultivation, the stronger we will be. Only if you pass the test will you be able to obtain the precious treasure inside. The puppet spoke, similarly emotionless. There are so many puppets equivalent to the peak of the 7th level spirit embryo realm. How can I defeat them all? Are you kidding me? Lu Ming looked at both sides of the passage. There were more than 100 puppets in total. He was speechless. With his current combat strength, how was it possible for him to defeat hundreds of puppets at the peak of the 7th level spirit embryo realm? If he were to burst out with his strongest battle strength and circulate the prison-suppressing heavenly art to its strongest, it was still possible to defeat 2 or 3 of them. However, after that, he would run out of true chi and would no longer be able to fight. This test was too difficult. He was only at the 2nd level of the spirit embryo realm, and the puppet that appeared was actually at the 7th level of the spirit embryo realm, which was 5 levels higher than him. How many people could complete it? There's no need for you to defeat all of us. You just need to pass through this passage. The puppet spoke again. You're tuning in to the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.